A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The following program is transcribed.
For a wash that's deep clean, sparkling clean, use Deep Cleaning Oxidol.
Oxidol is deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. Deep cleaning.
Oxidol's own Ma Perkins. Today, let's listen in on a conversation between a mother and her recently married daughter. The daughter is talking about an amazing wash day discovery she made recently. Listen.
Well, I've never been so surprised in my life. Just think of it, Mother. Dirty water coming out of clean clothes. Clothes I myself had just washed with the leading suds the way you're told to.
How in the world did dirty wash water happen to be coming from clean clothes?
Well, they washed them over again the deep cleaning Oxidol way. You should have seen the dirty wash water that came from those clothes. Certainly proved to me how much gray dirt deep cleaning Oxidol can get out of clothes already washed with shortcut suds.
Well, no shortcut suds for me. I'm switching to deep cleaning Oxidol today.
Yes, ladies, and it will pay you to switch to Deep Cleaning Oxidol, too. For Deep Cleaning Oxidol reaches deep down into fabrics and washes out the gray dirt left in clothes by the leading wash day suds, the leading shortcut suds. So try this yourself next wash day. Use Deep Cleaning Oxidol and see for yourself how much dirt Oxidol can get out of your clothes. And most important of all, see for yourself what Oxidol does for your clothes. When you use Deep Cleaning Oxidol, your clothes look white and bright. Your clothes feel soft and fluffy. Clothes smell sweet, too. Yes, your clothes look clean, feel clean, smell clean, because they are clean with Deep Cleaning Oxidol. Yet, Oxidol is truly safe. Deep clean clothes stay brighter, new-looking longer. So don't wash clothes with suds that leave dirt in. To get clothes deep clean, sparkling clean, use Deep Cleaning Oxidol.
Oxidol is deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. Deep cleaning.
Ask your dealer for Oxidol today. And now, for Ma Perkins. Well, we know that all the troubles that have befallen Ma and the folks lately have come from the cousins. And we know that Ma and Fay and the other folks are too generous, too trusting, too blindly loyal to the cousins. But now something's happened. Fay's begun to have doubts about Cousin Sylvester. And Cousin Sylvester plans to propose marriage to her at once, before her doubts crystallize. But right at this moment, we find Fay asking advice from Shuffle over there at Shuffle's lumberyard in Middleborough. Listen.
Maybe this is her now, Fay.
Oh, I hope so. I have to get back home.
Shober? You here, Shober?
Yeah, it's her. Back here in the office, Marietta.
Oh, I knew you couldn't be far away because there's Damon and Cynthia outside sleeping in the sunshine. When you go, he goes.
Yes.
Why'd you phone me to come over, Shober? Oh. Well, hello.
Hello, Marietta.
Yeah. Surprise for you, Marietta. We got company.
Yeah.
Miss Fay Perkins Henderson from Rushville Center, Ma Perkins' girl. It's real nice of you to come over so quick, Marietta.
Oh, it's okay, Shober. I had to get started in a few minutes anyhow. It's been quite a while since I've seen you, Mrs. Henderson.
Not since your housewarming party.
Uh-huh.
You're looking very well. And you certainly seem to be taking good care of Shuffle.
Oh, me and him managed to get along good.
Yeah. Now, Marietta, Miss Fay says she's got to get home. She's got a long drive ahead of her, and you've got to get to work. So I'll tell you why I called you, Marietta.
Sure. Let me get comfortable.
Marietta, for reasons which we don't have to go into, Miss Fay here she's, well, you might say she's looking for the lowdown on our mutual friend Sylvester P. Hammaker.
Oh.
You know, the facts about him.
Uh-huh.
And after I told her everything I know, I got the bright idea that we should get you to tell us what you know about the no-good hooligan. You understand what we want, Marietta?
What's the matter, Mrs. Henderson? Don't you believe it when old Schobert tells you got to have more witnesses?
Huh?
Oh, well, it's not that I need witnesses, Marietta. Just, well, here, have I offended you in some way? If I have, I'm terribly sorry. I never meant to. I told you and your whole family repeatedly the gospel truth about Sylvester Hammaker that day in your ma's lumber yard. I told that story not once, but several times. I'm under the impression I got kind of a brush off. Well, at that time, we were all right, Marietta. I'm sorry.
Marietta Fay here is just the nicest and sweetest. Why, lots of the things that I like about you, Marietta, they're just the things which remind me of Fay. And so, if we got a chance to help her, give her the lowdown on that crook who done such bad things to you and me, Marietta, let's do it.
Sure, it's a pleasure. Only, well, I just want to get the record straight. I already did spill my piece about Sylvester. I tried to shout it from the rooftops, but nobody listened. Well, so what's the matter, Mrs. Henderson? Sylvester a little rich for your blood after you get to know him? I suppose in a curious way you'd like to hear that. All right. I don't mind giving you that satisfaction, Marietta. Well, my pal Schobert speaks very highly of you, Mrs. Henderson, and so... Well, I'm sorry if I sound a little antagonistic. My feelings toward you are not antagonistic. But what would you like to know? Outside of the fact the guy is a bum. Am I correct to be under the assumption that Sylvester gave you a rude surprise recently? Yes, that's correct.
Marietta, I don't know if you know this, but when Fay became a widow, she was left some money. She's got it put away for her little girl, you know, Paulette. Fay herself don't use it much. Now, you knowing Sylvester, would you say he's the type of fella who'd shine up to a girl because she's got money?
Well, I would put it another way, Schobert. I would say that Sylvester Hammaker can smell a $10 bill that belongs to somebody else farther than a fox can smell a hen house. I will say furthermore that Sylvester Hammaker will work 10 times as hard to swipe a crooked buck than he'd work at making $2 honest. In fact, I will say that let Sylvester Hammaker just hear that some babe got a loose dollar lying around and he's like a bloodhound that smells blood, bang, he's off. I will say, in short, that Sylvester Hammaker is the lowest low-life who ever knocked down an old lady in front of a speeding automobile just so as to swipe her purse. And why do I say all this? Because Sylvester Hammaker stole $300 from me. Every nickel I had in the world. Me, a little nobody of a waitress in a hash joint. He couldn't even keep his dirty paws off my money. If I hurt your feelings, Mrs. Henderson, I'm sorry. But you asked me. You haven't hurt my feelings, Marietta. I've hurt my own feelings. Marietta. Yes? Nothing. I just wanted you to raise your head so I could look at you, look into your eyes. And I can tell that you were speaking the truth. I did speak the truth. I went out with him night after night. He tried so hard to be nice to me. He was nice. The way he'd play with my little girl, the way he'd bring a little box of candy to my mother. I feel like such a fool.
But that's Sylvester's way. That's to get on the good side of you.
Yes, that's what Marietta just said. I thank you, Marietta. I haven't quite made up my mind yet what I'm going to do, but I do know that you and I might become friends. Oh, Shuffle, if you were only in Rushville Center, if you were only there where I could talk to you.
Well, you can blame it on Sylvester that I ain't in Rushville Center. Sylvester and his daddy.
You realize what all this means. It means that Ma has made the biggest mistake of her life with the cousins, taking them in and being so nice to them. What you're really saying is that the cousins are no better than well, they're swindlers, crooks. Well, they might be the ones who took Billy's and Effie's money. Yes, and lied to us. And Ma goes on loving them. Shuffle, Ma couldn't be that wrong, could she?
Oh, Fay, now you're going through exactly what I went through for so many weeks, for so many months. How can Ma Perkins be wrong? Ma Perkins ain't never wrong. It must be you yourself, Shuffle Shober, who's wrong. But when you get right down to it, what's Ma done so wrong anyhow? She just loves her family, that's all. Ma's got too much love. And some of that there love goes to folks who ain't worthy of her love. And they are Pa Perkins's cousins. You can't rightly blame Ma for trying to help Pa's last living cousins.
But how can I go to Ma and tell her that Sylvester is just a... Oh, I can't. I can't. What am I going to do? I just don't know.
That you, Fay?
Yes, Ma.
Oh, land, I was beginning to wonder where you'd got to. Paulette's outside someplace. She went out with Joseph.
Yes, I know. I saw them. I'm sorry I'm late, Ma. I'll just change my clothes and I'll come right down. Did you start her supper?
Yes, I got it started. No hurry, dear. Oh, before I forget, Cousin Sylvester is real anxious to talk to you on the telephone. He was calling the house all afternoon. Then when I left the lumberyard, he said he'd call you at supper time. I reckon he wants to go somewhere with you tonight.
Thank you, Ma. You asked Sylvester point blank about Willie's and Evie's money, didn't you? You know, there'd been that talk about Willie and Evie investing all their savings with him.
Then, yes, I did ask Sylvester. But he don't know nothing about it. It was my impression that you asked him, too. Didn't he say that he knows nothing about it?
Yes, Ma, he did. That he doesn't know anything about their money. So, Sylvester wants to take me out tonight. All right. I even know where I think we'll go. I think I'll ask him to pay a little call with me on Willie and Evie. There's a good deal around here I'd like to know about.
I never got such a sparkling wash before. That's what women everywhere are saying about deep cleaning Oxidol. For deep cleaning Oxidol really gets clothes sparkling clean. Reaches deep down into fibers for the grimy dirt in clothes and floats it away. You can see your clothes washed dazzling white and bright with Oxidol. You can feel the clothes are soft and fluffy. Smell they're sweet, too. Yes, clothes look clean, feel clean, smell clean, because they are clean with deep cleaning Oxidol. So for a wash that's deep clean, sparkling clean, get deep cleaning Oxidol at your dealers now in the same familiar Oxidol package. And so, it looks as if the showdown is due at last. And yes, I can tell you now, on Monday, Sylvester comes to propose marriage. But now this is Charlie Warren inviting you to listen again Monday to Oxidol's own Ma Perkins, transcribed. Same time, same station. For a wash that's deep clean, sparkling clean, use Deep Cleaning Oxidol.
Oxidol is deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. Deep cleaning.
And its 98,000 dealers bring you Mr. Frank Lovejoy in tonight's presentation of Suspense.
Tonight, Autolite presents a story based on fact, terrifying in its truth. The dramatic report of a man returned home to find he now lives in a frightened city. Our star, Mr. Frank Lovejoy.
Hi, Harlow. What's the matter?
Hap, I'm in love.
Oh, what's her name?
It's not a her, it's the famous Autolite Stay Full. The battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use.
Why, millions of drivers go for the Autolite Stay Full, Harlow.
Sure, Hap, because it's the great battery with the fiberglass retaining mats protecting every positive plate to reduce shedding and flaking. And that means longer life for the Autolite Stay Full battery, as proved by tests conducted according to accepted life cycle standards.
Tell other drivers how to meet this lovable battery, Harlow.
All right, friends, your neighborhood Autolite battery dealer services all makes of batteries, and he will gladly show you the Autolite Stay Full battery for your car. To quickly learn his location, call Western Union by number
and ask for me, Operator 25. I'll give you the location of your nearest Autolite battery dealer where you can get an Autolite Stay Full.
the battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite presents The Frightened City, starring Mr. Frank Lovejoy, hoping once again to keep you in suspense.
The train pulled out of Easton at 1:20 in the afternoon. It had pulled in 3 minutes earlier. It was a simple thing I had to do then. Watch it cross the bridge over the Wabash, watch it grow smaller, and when it was out of sight, I was finally home. And home was pick up the barracks bag and walk up the small hill from the depot. Down into Main Street on an autumn afternoon. Turn left on Sycamore, down 3 blocks, where the houses are painted white, and there's rockers on the porches, and wide elm trees in November color, and the far-off sound of a dog barking and the smell of smoldering leaves, and 595 Sycamore Street. Up the path, and up the steps. Jane! Janie!
Who is it?
Janie! Sis!
Nick! Oh, Nick.
How's the baby, sis?
Oh, fine. He was teething, but he's all right now.
I haven't seen him yet.
Oh, he's beautiful.
How's Johnny? How's Johnny, sis?
What?
Johnny, how is he? Your husband, my brother-in-law, Johnny, how... What's the matter with you?
Didn't you get my letter?
I was aboard ship the last 2 weeks, so...
Johnny is dead. Johnny went walking one night, and he's dead. One night, Johnny said he was going to walk down to Main Street. He told me he wanted to stop in the police station. He had something to tell the chief of police. He went out, and he was walking along.
Baby.
A car drove by, and someone shot a gun at Johnny. And Johnny's dead.
Who? Who shot Johnny, sis? Janie, I'm talking to you. Who shot Johnny? Janie.
Come with me, Nick. There's your nephew. He's sleeping, and he's my son. He's pink, and he's fat, and he says Mama. He can say Dada, too, but it's a word he won't need. He's a good baby. And I love him as much as a mother can love a child. Now, I want to show you something else. I've had it here in my apron, and I've been wondering what to do about it. I found it under my door about a week ago, the day after Johnny was shot. I'll read it to you. Don't talk to strangers. What happened to Daddy can happen to Sonny.
Give it to me.
My little boy is going to grow up. He's going to play with other boys and laugh and cry when he scrapes his knee on the sidewalk and go to school.
Give me the note,
and
Jamie.
live a life. No. No note, Nicky. These pieces get burned, get forgotten. It gets forgotten like everything else that's happened.
Who did it, Janie?
You're back from a war. Let everything be peaceful now. Look at my son, Nick. The way he wakes up. So peaceful.
Then the infinite gentleness as she lifted the child, held him close and kissed him. And the room was stillness and anguish and the bitter fear and the emptiness. And this was homecoming. Outside it was November, a long, quiet avenue. And a glimpse of the coat-sweated woman in her backyard, gathering in her wash, feeling in it the starch of cold autumn wind. Walk to a cross street, then 3 blocks east. Police headquarters. Give a murdered man's name and yours, ask for the chief of police, and in less than an hour be shown into him.
Hello, Mr. Crawford. Have a seat.
You know why I'm here?
Yeah, I do.
I just came from my sister. She's scared. She gets threatening notes and burns them up. Why?
I don't know.
Who killed her husband?
I don't know.
Now, look, you, this happened to my sister, and now it's happening to me. A week ago, a man walked down the street. He was on his way to see you, and he got murdered.
Easy, kid, easy. I've got some things to tell you.
Tell me.
4 people saw it happen to your brother-in-law. That night, one of them, a woman, was brutally beaten, tossed into a vacant lot. A kid playing in the trash found her there. 2 days later, another witness got a bomb thrown through his nice new house and almost killed his wife. That's 2. The other 2 won't talk either, like your own sister won't talk. I'm tired, Mr. Crawford. I got a lot of things to clear away.
I want their names and addresses.
They'll talk to you, huh?
They'll talk to me. I want those names.
All right. Tell the sergeant in the next office I said you can have them. Mr. Crawford.
What?
Things have changed in this town. It's different. Hang around. You'll see.
Hello.
Good evening.
Mr. Osborne?
Mr. Osborne, something I can do for you?
They told me down at your place of business you'd be home. It's about Jimmy Stewart. Mind if I sit down?
No. Johnny Stewart, a friend of yours?
He was married to my sister.
Your sis? Oh, then you must be Nick. Heard a lot about you from Johnny. How you were soldiering. Welcome home, Nick.
Johnny worked for you, didn't he?
Good accountant, nice guy, Johnny. One of the best.
You were with him the night he was killed?
That's right, I was with him.
Well, you want to tell me about it?
Johnny was walking by my store just as I was closing up. I told him to wait a minute. I'd walk with him. We walked. We talked. Got to a corner. I told Johnny to wait for me while I went into the drugstore to buy some cigarettes. Just as I came out, a car turned the corner. Shot him down, drove away. That's how it was.
What kind of car?
I wouldn't know.
What, sedan, convertible, old, new?
A week ago they put me through this. I didn't know then, I don't know now.
Well, he worked for you. He was your friend. You knew all about him and me and his wife.
Nick, I like it here on my porch swing. It reminds me I'm alive. Don't spoil it for me, Nick.
Mrs. Mason, you were sitting right here at your window and you saw it happen. You saw Johnny killed.
I didn't see it.
Well, what kind of a car? Just tell me that.
Nothing.
Well, the men who beat you up, did you identify them?
There were weeds, dirty old tin cans.
Please.
And they threw me down and kicked me in my throat. Go away. What are you doing in my house?
You listen to me, Nick. I can remember when Johnny Stewart was a kid, and he stole penny candy from me, right here in this same drugstore.
Yeah, and he grew up to be shot down right on this corner, right outside this store. What happened that night, Mr. Nolan?
Nick, I built up a nice business here, 20 years.
What did you see?
Nicky, it was me had to scrub his blood off the sidewalk.
What did you see?
Nothing. Nothing, that's what I saw, Nick. Nothing.
Hi.
Hello there.
Breaking leaves, you can work up a sweat, even in November.
Yeah, big three, a lot of leaves, Indian summer evening. You sweat.
Yeah, I know. You're Tom Ruxton, aren't you?
That's right.
I'm Nick Crawford.
Glad to know you.
Johnny Stewart was my brother-in-law.
Oh. Really?
You got a nice house, Tom.
Thanks.
I understand your wife was almost killed when they tossed a bomb into it.
That's right. Hazel was out back. Lucky.
That bomb was tossed into your house because you were a witness to a murder, wasn't it?
House looks okay now. Got nice neighbors. Helped me. We fixed it up ourselves.
Who killed Johnny? You're scared to death, aren't you?
I've got a pretty good house here, mister. A tract house, GI loan. Once I had a nice uniform, just like you. Now what I've got's a wonderful wife, and anybody asks me, I'll say Hazel's a wonderful wife, and I love her.
Like I said, scared.
Right now, mostly of you, and whatever you're carrying around with you, I don't want to rub off on me or Hazel. So I'll tell you something. Leave me alone.
When I went outside, it was evening in Easton. The air was chill, and the dew was turning to light frost on the lawns. I walked for a while, and I noticed a thing. The people on the streets. Their stares, their looks over the shoulder at me, the whispers and the turning aside to let me pass. The word had gotten around that Johnny Stewart's brother-in-law was back in town, and he was asking questions. I was being pointed out and walked away from. I'd come home, and I'd come home to a frightened city.
Autolite is bringing you Mr. Frank Lovejoy in The Frightened City. Tonight's presentation in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Hey, Hap, isn't that wonderful?
Well, Harlow, it looks just like an Autolite Stay Full battery to me.
Hap, I'm surprised at you. Don't you realize that this is the battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use? Don't you know that the Autolite Stay Full is protected by fiberglass retaining mats around every positive plate to reduce shedding and flaking? Aren't you aware of its longer life, as proved by tests conducted according to accepted life cycle standards?
Well, sure, Harlow.
Well, then, Hap, you'll agree when I say money can't buy a better battery. So, friends, visit your nearest Autolite battery dealer. He services all makes of batteries, and he's got an Autolite Stay Full for your car in case a replacement is needed. To quickly locate your nearest Autolite battery dealer, call Western Union by number
and ask for Operator 25. I'll tell you where you can get an Autolite Stay Full.
the battery that needs water only 3 times a year in normal car use. And remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. Frank Lovejoy in Elliot Lewis's production of The Frightened City, a dramatic report well calculated to keep you in suspense.
The next morning in Easton, clear, bright. Look out the window of an upstairs room where you've slept in an almost forgotten bed. And the glint of sunlight is autumn leaves wet with melting frost. And 3 houses down, the man in the bathrobe darting out of his front door to where the morning paper had been tossed into an evergreen bush. Watch him stalk it, retrieve it, scurry back. Trace a design on a pane-esteemed window. And it's almost the way you remembered it. Almost.
Nicky, you up?
Yeah, come on in.
Hi.
Hi.
You sleep good?
Yeah. I heard the kid bawling a little while ago. Woke me up.
Oh, he was hungry. He's all right now. Nicky.
What?
Got home real late last night. I waited up a long time, then I got tired and went to sleep. My brother's first night home in 3 years. You'd think you could have managed to get home early enough for us to talk.
Well, what do we talk about, Jane?
You? What's happened to you in 3 years?
But Johnny. Dead Johnny. Murdered Johnny. Your husband, the man you had the kid with. We don't talk about that, huh, sister?
Shut up.
Janie.
I told you, shut up!
You're going to yell me into keeping quiet, Janie.
I told you. I don't want my baby killed. Johnny was enough.
You hate me for wanting to know why Johnny's dead? You hate me for that, Janie?
My baby gets hurt. I'll hate you to your grave.
You've got lots of new things in the house, Jane. You know, new furniture, new carpets. Looks nice. Looks expensive.
Are you coming down for breakfast?
How much did Johnny make working as an accountant for Osborne? 50? 60 a week? How much?
Nick, leave me alone.
New sofa, big green leather chair, new carpet. That costs a lot of money. How did you get them, Jane? Installment plan? Somebody give you a birthday present? How'd you do it, Jane? You got a home hobby? You take telephone subscriptions for Ladies Magazine? Or did Johnny do it? Is that it? How? He steal, he rob, he kill?
Nicky.
Tell me.
Ask Osborne.
Osborne? Ask him what?
How we suddenly became rich, how Johnny left a bank account with $30,000 in it.
What are you talking about?
You said you walked the town last night. Didn't you see what's happened to it?
See what?
People walking into back rooms, shops with no customers open late, men paying newsboys with bills and not taking change, or newspapers. People walking into back rooms, card rooms, dice tables, numbers.
And Johnny was part of it?
Johnny worked for Osborne.
And Johnny got sick of it and was on his way to tell the cop?
Oh, Nicky.
Oh, Janie, what's the matter?
If you tell anybody what I said, I'll swear you're lying. My baby, Nick, my son. I just died. That's what you did to me. I just died.
What do you... Hey, what's the big idea of busting up my office?
I'll tell you the idea, Osborne. I reached across that desk to grab you by the throat. And I was going to try to break you in half, but a thing stopped me. You want to know what stopped me, Osborne?
What's the matter with you, Nick?
I want you to look at me, and I want you to say to yourself, here's a man who's angry. And you say to yourself, here's a man who might reach across the desk and kill me. He hasn't made up his mind yet. On your feet, Osborne. On your feet. Why did you kill Johnny?
You crazy?
Talk to me, talk. Tell me, why did you kill Johnny?
I was walking with him, son. Walking with him. How
could you set him up as a pigeon? It's real simple. Walk with him, then go into a drugstore and wait until he's killed. Now you know how. Now tell me why.
You talking to your sister, son?
Osborne, you send your boys down to see my sister. They might live through what happened to them, but I doubt it.
Tough boy. Soldier boy.
Here's what's else, Osborne. This town suddenly stinks. Dice rooms, card rooms, numbers, and everything that goes with it. My brother-in-law gets a shiny garbage disposal, a new grand piano, real fine rugs, and a large bank account. On how much a week? 75 accountants make about that, don't they?
Yeah, we could start you at about 300.
Be polite, Mr. Osborne, to a guy who's talking.
500.
Polite, Mr. Osborne. That's the word for just now. I could kill you, Osborne. Think about it with me. Here we are in this room. You, the man who's got the whole town of Easton so scared that nobody has a friend anymore. Takes a powerful man to frighten almost 20,000 people, but you did it.
Anything happens to me, Nicky boy, you'd get one block from here. Let's think about that, too,
That's what I'm coming to. Then there's me in this room, and you're afraid of me, and that makes me pretty big, too. But I'm not going to kill you because this is my town. And it used to be a pretty good town.
The uniform and the flag and the fist, that's all you need?
And there's law and there's people who need to know what's happening here. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do.
Get proof, Nicky? How?
About 8 o'clock tonight, I'm going to take a walk, and I'm going to take the same walk that Johnny did. And I'm going into that drugstore, and I'm going to make a phone call. A long-distance call to St. Louis to a newspaper guy I know. And then it's going to be in the papers about a frightened city. And the reporters will come here, and they'll find out, Osborne. You're getting real scared, baby.
You mean it about taking that walk tonight, Nick?
I mean it.
Maybe we'll bump into each other.
We will. And on the way home, stop at Lane's sporting goods store. Buy a gun, buy cartridges. And Mr. Lane is all business. No good evenings. No, how have you been, Nicky? Just ring it up on the cash register and not look at you and walk quickly away from you when it was done. And the walk home. Small town held in November twilight. Inside the house, try the new piano. The room where the baby is. Play with him. And Jane comes in and takes him away from you and tells you there's supper in the kitchen if you want it. And eat alone. Paper propped against water pitcher. Alone. From now on, everything alone. Because the police wouldn't let you be a pigeon. Glance at the kitchen clock. And it's time.
Going out, Nick?
Yeah.
Where?
Just for a walk.
Will you be late?
Maybe. Don't wait up for me.
Something for you, Nick?
Some change. I want to use your phone.
Sure, Nick. Here, Nick.
Thanks.
Long distance.
Oh, long distance. What's the station-to-station charge to St. Louis?
Just a moment, please. That will be $1.20, including the tax. What number do you wish, please? What number are you calling in St. Louis, please?
Pick a number.
I'm sorry, sir, but you must...
Don't be sorry. Get anybody you want to talk to in St. Louis. Have a talk on me.
I will return your money, sir.
No, don't do that. There's somebody I want to call in St. Louis, but I can't think of who it is.
I will give you information.
No, just talk to me.
I'm sorry, sir, but I can't do that.
Operator, I've got to talk into this phone for just a little while longer, just to let somebody think I'm not kidding in case somebody's watching.
I don't understand, sir. Would you like information?
About what?
Do you wish to talk to St. Louis, sir?
Do you think I should?
I'm afraid I'm going to have to return your money.
No, don't do that. I've got a number. Get me, Benton 64373 in St. Louis.
1 moment, please.
Nick!
Osborne.
Nick. Oh, Nick. Sorry, soldier. And just think, you could have died on a battlefield, not in your hometown.
Osborne didn't die. He lived quite a long time, 5 months. Hospital, trial, confession, sentence. And in 5 months it was spring in Easton. It was a good spring. And you know how people are. They react to the weather.
Hi, Nick. Tree's starting to bud already. You notice?
They get friendly and they smile a lot, like winter was a long time, a dark time, and it was over.
Come on over to the house when you have a chance, Nick. You do that, you hear?
Grass grows in the springtime, but babies grow all the time.
Did you see him? Did you see him, Nick? He walked. My son walked.
Sure I saw him, sis.
He's growing up.
That happens, sis.
And you know what? He's lucky. He's got a good town to grow up in.
Suspense. Presented by Autolite. Tonight's star, Mr. Frank Lovejoy.
This is Harlow Wilcox, and here once again is our star, Frank Lovejoy. This was your first appearance of our new season, Frank, and we want you to know we enjoyed every minute.
Thank you, Harlow, and thanks to Autolite for making it possible. You had some wonderful shows this season, and next week's promises to be one of the best. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may, I recommend that you be sure to listen to Death and Miss Turner, starring Miss Agnes Moorehead.
Yes, Frank, it should be a great show, brought to you by one of the great names in American industry, Autolite, and its family of 98,000 distributors and dealers in the United States and thousands more in Canada and throughout the world. Our family also includes the nearly 30,000 men and women in 28 great Autolite plants from coast to coast and Autolite plants in many foreign countries, as well as the 18,000 people who have invested a portion of their savings in Autolite. Every Autolite product is backed by constant research and precision built to the highest standards of quality and performance. So remember, from bumper to tail light, you're always right with Autolite.
Next week, a new radio play by the originator of Suspense, Mr. William Spear. The story is called Death and Miss Turner, and it will star the First Lady of Suspense, Miss Agnes Moorehead. That's next week on Suspense. Suspense is produced and directed by Elliott Lewis, with music composed by Lucian Morowick and conducted by Lud Gluskin. The Frightened City was written for Suspense by Morton Fine and David Friedkin. Featured in tonight's cast were Joan Banks, Lou Merrill, Herb Butterfield, Paula Winslow, Hy Averback, and Charles Calvert.
Frank Lovejoy appeared through the courtesy of Warner Brothers, whose current release is Operation Secret.
Remember next week, Miss Agnes Moorehead in Death and Miss Turner.
You can buy Autolite Stay Full batteries, Autolite electrical parts, and Autolite resistor or standard type spark plugs at your neighborhood Autolite dealers. Switch to Autolite. Good night.
This is the CBS Radio Network.
Mutual presents Arch Oboler's Plays. The Mutual Broadcasting System has the pleasure of presenting the 25th broadcast of a special 26-week series of plays by radio playwright Arch Oboler, a series of dramas concerning the people of this expanding world in which we live. Tonight's play, Mr. Miller, will be introduced by Arch Oboler.
It would be sheer presumption on my part to introduce to you either Eddie Cantor, the comedian, or Eddie Cantor, the humanitarian. For many years, he has been one of show business's all-time greats, both in terms of charitable actions and in what is equally important in these times of stress, in making you laugh again. But tonight I have the pleasure of bringing you Eddie Cantor in another role, that of a dramatic actor in a play which today is even more timely than in the pre-war years when I wrote it. For surely today of all days we know that in the larger analysis, peace in this world can come only through the good conscience of each man.
Come in, come in. So, all right, come in and shut the door. So, all right, sit down. Yeah, I want to talk to you. About me. Everybody's talking about me, so why should I be different? You, I want you to understand. Why you? Because, what's the difference? You're going to listen or ain't you? So I'll tell you. Maybe not everything. Maybe some things I'll think in my head, but I'll tell you plenty. I, Sammy Miller, am a fool. I was born a fool, I die a fool. All right, I know it. But what I did was right. You hear me right? Okay, I'll tell you. I'll put it in simple little words so you'll understand. I, Sammy Miller, I got a crack in my head like the Holland Tunnel. I'm punchy, cuckoo, nuts. I ain't saying it alone, you understand? You don't have to tell me. Everybody's saying it, all up and down 49th Street. I can hear it in my head.
Sammy Miller, he's a dope.
Bury him in the ground. Such a fool. He's dead already.
All right. So it's settled, all right. I'm everything they say, all right. Who wants to give an argument? Who can argue when a man throws away $100,000? $100,000. Did you hear that? Do you realize what that is? Okay. Millions you read about in the paper. $1 million for a submarine, $1 million for an airplane, millions for this and millions for that. But I ask you plain. Do you know how much money $100,000 is? $100,000 stuck up one by one like telephone poles down the street?
1, 2, 3, 4.
In my head, I begin counting it off, and it's enough to go crazy. Crazy, I tell you. You work in a store, all right. You make $22.50 a week. You work in a drugstore behind a counter someplace, $30.50. You may be a bookkeeper at $45. You own a big store, $100, all right. But $100,000. Real cash, and I threw it away. Me, Sammy Miller, who 2 years ago was reaching for butts in the gutter.
He's crazy. Nuts.
Bughouse. Loony.
Cracked. Punchy.
Crazy. Nuts.
I keep hearing him say it. I think it myself. Am I nuts? Did something, bust in my head? Maybe from the time I got slugged. Am I nuts? Nah. What I did was right. Right, and I'll lay it on the line and show you. And maybe show myself. So where'll I start? When I'm 16? Yeah, good, when I'm 16. 16 and I'm ambitious, like a Benji Franklin in Brooklyn, yeah. Right where the elevator turns in and goes over the bridge. Brooklyn, right by the elevator, and I'm 16. And I'm ambitious, yeah. 16, and have I got ambitions?
Go on, I bet you $1 million, 5-2. That Harden and that guy Coolidge winning a breeze.
Go on, you ain't got 2 bits.
Yeah? Look who's talking. Boy, that's the job. President. Sit in the White House, 75,000 smackaroos every payday. Boy, that's the job.
Go on, lots of troubles. Vice president, that's the one, boy. Do nothing, say nothing. 50,000, just like that.
Go on, he don't get that much.
He does, too.
You're nuts.
Hey, Sam, you know. How much the vice president get? How much, huh? How much, huh?
What?
Look at that dope. He ain't even listening.
Sam, what's the matter with you? Talking to you. You ain't even listening.
I was thinking.
So what was you thinking? So what was so important?
Nothing.
Go on, spell it. What was you thinking?
Yeah, go on, there you. What was you thinking?
Well, I was thinking...
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, I was thinking when I'm managing the champion...
He's in again. Yeah, the champion manager. Let me use the pink Rolls Royce manager. Look at the manager with holes in his pants. Slam the door, manager, champion. Give him room, boys. Give him room.
Yeah. I'm telling you, since I was 16 and before, long before, one idea in the head, manager of a champion. Yeah, funny, ain't it? A kid like they used to say with holes where he sits down got such an ambition, manager of a champion? Believe it or not, Ripley, huh?
Hey, Sammy, Dempsey's looking for you.
The whole neighborhood used to laugh at me.
Hey, Sammy, Tex Rickard's on the telephone.
Yeah, laughing, all of them. It wasn't funny, no. Punk kid, I used to get tears in the eyes. Why should they laugh at me? Everybody's got different ambitions, sure, why not? One kid wants to be a general, another kid wants to have a lot of girls, another kid wants maybe to go flying like a bird. All right, that's all right. Everybody, like they say, to his own ideas. So I had an idea. I wanted to be a guy who'd make a champion. Yeah, like Kearns made out of Dempsey. Pick up a good, strong kid someplace, show him this and this, pick his spots for him, work the angles. Pretty soon have him in the garden, knocking him flattered in the backside of a sewer lid. Work him up from $10 prices to the hundreds, to the thousands. Yeah, why not? Manager of champions. Why not? I'm asking you.
Sammy, go get a job.
My pa said, Sammy, go get a job.
Sammy, go get a job.
Job? I was looking for a job.
Hanging around with loafers in them gymnasiums.
Looking for a guy.
Hanging around places with fighting. Cheap bummers always fighting.
Deep guy to make a champion.
Sammy, get a job. Sammy, get a job.
Yeah, my pa, over and over, get a job. I was looking. Harder, I tell you, than the guy that's got 2 wives and 15 hungry kids. Every stinking gym in town and walking way out of town. Jersey City, City Island, Passaic, all the way to Rockaway. Every place there was a gym, a 2-bit fight show, looking for the guy that'd make a champion. The guy that'd make me manager of a champion.
Loafer.
I'm 17.
Bummer.
I'm 18.
No good.
19, 20.
Get out of my house. What good are you?
21, 22. How do I live? Don't ask me. $1 here, $1 there, working for all the big shots in the racket at the fight camps. In the corners, handing the water bottles and the sponges, bringing them coffee, bringing them good luck, shoved around and kicked around. Okay, that's all right. What's the difference? Learning all the angles, every angle. Who the politicians ought to play ball with? Who runs the garden from the inside and sets the big fights? Who cuts in to make a champion? What newspaper big shots will build up a palooka in the headlines for? And for how much, you know? Who'll take a dive to build up your boy's reputation? Learning all the angles, yeah. Learning for the day when I had found him, the guy, the one who'd make me manager of a champion.
Take the phone out!
You got any idea how many fights I went to looking for that right guy? You know how many fights and how many jerkwater places a guy can see in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4? Funny, ain't it? Living through the years I was. When guys my age are looking too, yeah, all the guys are looking, but for girls. Yeah, girls for fun and girls for wives. But me, have I got time? No. Got just time for looking out for him. The guy, the right guy. Oh, there's plenty with the fist to look at. Black boys, white ones, brown ones, sluggers that come in way wide open. Dancers that throw their mitts like they was cream puffs. Plenty to look at, hundreds of them, going slug nutty and hungry and getting ears like hunks of cabbage, waiting for a break. But none of them for me. No, not a one. Well, not the one. So I keep on working here and working there and looking. So one night I'm in town in Pensy. Bells. I hear bells. What? And then it catches at my throat. It's New Year. Yeah, caught up to me all at once, just like that, another year. I stand there looking at him, laughing, jumping. I'm cold, all of a sudden cold. I go into a doorway, stand there looking at him, and believe me, I don't see him. All I see, all I know is another year's gone and I ain't found him. I'm nobody, nothing. I ain't found him.
Tickets to the benefit fight, mister?
Tickets? Fight? I look around. I'm standing in the hall, people moving in, a big sign. Amateur fights tonight, big benefit. Funny, ain't it? New Year's night, and there I'm standing.
Tickets to the benefit fight, mister?
So I buy a ticket, go inside. So you're smart. You guessed it. Well, it don't take no brain like a Napoleon. Sure, I found him. Yeah, he was there in the ring just when I walked in. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and I knew it. It was him. Yeah, him. Maybe you don't care about nothing. Maybe you never look for nothing. Maybe you go along and everything's jaking smooth and easy. Okay, then this don't mean a thing. But if you ever wanted something, see? A drink, a dame, a kid, a break, you'll know. There I was, see, New Year's Eve, tired, ready to bust right down, quit, throw my top. And there he was.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Miller.
What can I tell you about him?
From New York. Oh, say, you've come a long way.
Build? Well, like I always see them, big in shoulders, small in hips, and tall and lanky.
Oh, well, thanks. Honest, I was lucky knocking him out.
And fast? Say, when he moved, you couldn't see him. In, sock, and out. And you couldn't lay a glove on him, not if you threw 100 pairs with 50 guys to throw him.
Make a business of it? Fight professional? Well, I hadn't thought much about it, mister.
Yeah, him all right. 3 minutes and knew it like St. Peter himself made out an affidavit. Champion stuff, and me, the manager of a champion.
Oh, no, really, thanks, Mr. Miller, but I don't think I want to make a living out of fighting.
But he didn't want to fight. I mean, not for dough. Can you beat it? Not for dough?
I appreciate everything you said, Mr. Miller, but, well, you don't understand the situation. Me, sure, I'm handy with my fists, but that's not what I want to do. Fight for fun, sure, you know, charity, but not for money. Oh, I haven't been studying and working all these years just to use my hands for knocking guys down for a count of 10. No, sir. What have I been studying? Well, it doesn't make much difference, does it? I mean, well, all right. I will tell you. Art school. That's where I'm going. I'm a painter. No, I don't belong to any union. I don't even know what you mean. Oh, I get it. No, not that kind of painting. I do mine on canvas. Yeah, just like they put in museums. You're right there, but you're wrong if you think mine go on exhibition. I'm just beginning, learning. And fighting pro and painting pro, well, they don't mix. At least I don't think so, Mr. Miller.
I had to argue with him, yeah. Hours and hours of arguing. Can you beat it? Have to argue with a guy to make him champion, richer than the president? Have to talk him into it? Can you beat it?
Okay, mister. I guess you win. Where do I sign?
So, at last it was done and finished and beginning. I was managing a fighter like you dream about and never is, but there he was. And me, his manager, Sam and Dave. His last name? What's the difference? Dave's enough. And he'd be champion, absolutely. First fight. $25.
$12.50, Sam? Okay. That'll buy me a lot of paints.
Second fight. $50.
Okay, Sam. I'll be the richest artist this side of Rembrandt.
Third fight. $100.
Sam, I tell you, it's wrong for an artist to have to pay an income tax. It's wrong, Sam. All wrong.
Oh, I brought him along slow and easy. Pick the right spots. Not too tough, boys, not too easy. All the small-town fight spots. Let him pick up the answers slow and easy. How the rough ones work. Backhanders and rapid punches, butters and eye pokers. Learn it slow and learn it all. The way a champion's got to know it all.
Hey, Sam, this is Lou. Yeah, listen, I'm calling long distance, so listen quick. I hear you got a good boy. Well, listen, Sam, I got a proposition. Listen, Sam.
Oh, the sharpshooters, yeah. Don't take long. Read it in the papers, just a couple of lines down in the corner, but they smell out the good ones.
Listen, Sam, got a proposition.
Wasn't having any part of them, no, sir. Keep Dave out of New York till I was good and ready, and he was good and ready. That's the way I figured it, and that's the way it was going to be. Yeah. All figured out, all of it. Up to the very night they'd lift up his hand and said,
"The champion of the world!"
It's in your face. You're asking when I'm getting to the point? What's this got to do with a guy going nuts with his eyes wide open, throwing away $100,000 the way you throw away a burn-out match? Well, I'm getting to the point quick. Yeah, too quick. Because when I talk about it... Listen. He's got a dozen fights stuck away, Dave has, and we made some bucks, and everything is rolling right, see? Right. And yet not too right. Slow, see? Much too slow. I mean, the build-up. Easy does it. Easy does it. Know it. Sure, I know it. But it's slow, see? Awful slow. The days, they crawl. The weeks. New York's still awful far away. It's right to do it that way, I know. Yeah, I know it, but it's slow. Awful slow. And every day, every week, every fight makes it that much slower. Dave didn't care. Why should he? Had lots of time. But me, I've been waiting, yeah, all these years, waiting. Hungry, shoved and kicked around by all the wise guys. And now I had the guy to put me right on top. I wanted Dave in that garden, see? Walking down the aisle with them wise guys saying...
That's Sam Miller, see? He's got the champion.
Wanted that, I tell you, wanted it. Me that had nothing. Brooklyn under the elevator. Years of not eating good, just looking and waiting. You couldn't blame me for wanting what I wanted. Faster, fast as I could get it.
Sam!
A guy came to see me.
Got a match for you.
Was in Youngstown.
$5,000 to wind up.
$5,000.
$5,000 to wind up. Fight the soccer 15 rounds.
The soccer? No. Oh, no. Too good for Dave. Oh, much too good.
8, 9, 10,
But Dave was good, too. If he beat the soccer, they'd want him in the garden, sure. The garden, a couple of fights, then the big one, and...
That's Sam Miller, see? He's got the champion.
I said, okay, my boy will fight the soccer, sure. Why not? Fight and beat him.
Fight in the wind-up, Sam? Well, if you think I'm ready, sure. Why not?
So that's the way it was. The night, the biggest crowd he'd ever fought in front of.
Nervous, Sam? Oh, you are, not me.
Got into the ring, and the minute he was in there, I wanted to say, Dave, get out of there. You're not ready. Dave, get out.
Ladies and gentlemen, a wind-up 15 rounds decision.
Dave, he's too good for you. A punch like... Listen, Dave, you're not ready. But I said nothing. First round. Take it easy, Dave. Stay away from him, Dave. Third round. All right, Dave, you're doing all right. Fourth round. Dave, you're going fine. Hit him, Dave. There, you've hurt him. Crowd him. In the breadbasket. Hit him. Down. He was down. Dave, the soccer caught him coming in between the eyes. Dave, get up. If you don't get up, Dave, everything is down there with you. Dave, get up. Up. He's up. Out on his feet. I'll throw the towel. No. My Dave hit him. Soccer's down. Out. He's out. Got so excited like it was happening all over again, didn't I? Yeah, that's the way it was. Got up off the floor, the kid did. Right off the floor and knocked the contender out cold. Cold is what I'm going to tell you now. Walked home from the fight, him and me. Me walking on air. And this knockout hit the papers in New York, they'd lay the carpet down for me and Dave all the way to the front of the garden. Yeah, walking on air. Me, Sammy Miller. And my champion walking with me. Hotel room.
I got a little headache, Sam.
I said, all right, lie down. I went over and sat by the window, looking out at the street, the lights. Lights flashing on and off. There'd be lights in front of the garden for him, for me. For me.
Sam.
He called me. I said, why don't you sleep?
I can't sleep. Sam, do me a favor. Turn on the lights.
The lights?
Sam, didn't you hear me? Turn on the lights.
The lights were on.
Sam, where are you? Turn on the lights.
His eyes were on me, through me, past me. Didn't see me. In a minute I knew the punch that hit him in the head, he would never, I knew. I knew I'd tell you, knew it sure as if 100 docs were telling me.
Sam, where are you? Why is it so dark?
And then I knew something else quick through my head like a light. I knew it. If I stayed with him, finished, done, that's the way I'd be, like he was done, leading him around like a dog leading a blind. Had to get out of there quick. The purse was in my pocket, $5,000, threw $1,000 on the table and then out.
Sam, is that you? Why is it so dark? Sam, for God's sake, tell me. Why is it so dark? Sam!
New York. I was back.
Hiya, Sammy.
Different now. Dough. I had plenty dough.
Sure, we can do business, Sammy. I'll sell them for cash. Sure, why not?
Bought myself a fighter. You hear that? Bought myself a fighter. Black boy, a comer, right out of the Golden Gloves. Champion amateur, yeah. Bought and paid for cash.
Do just what you say, boss.
You know the rest.
Knockout first round, knockout fourth round, decision 10 round.
Yeah, easy. Just like that. I pay the money, I get a black boy who's better than the best. Easy, just like that.
The Black Panther, Sammy Miller's won the fighter today, signed to fight the champion at the Garden.
Fight the champion at the Garden. So everything's all right, sure. Fight the champion, then my boy, he's champion, sure, and I am manager of a champion. That's what I wanted, sure. So everything's all right, yeah. Only one little thing is wrong, yeah. When I lay down at night to sleep, I can't sleep. You want to know why?
Sam, why is it so dark?
Just that, I hear it, just that. So I can't sleep. Crazy, huh?
Sam, why is it so dark?
A man who got what he wants.
Sam, why is it so dark?
Right up on top, got what he wants.
Sam, why is it so dark?
A boy who will be the champion, dough in the pocket, in the bank.
Sam, why is it so dark?
Not to be able to sleep, that's crazy, ain't it?
Sam, why is it so dark?
Just a voice in the head, that's all.
Sam, why is it so dark?
Over and over.
Sam, why is it so dark?
Conscience.
Sam, why is it so dark?
What is conscience?
Sam, why is it so dark?
Just a thought inside my head, that's all.
Sam, why is it so dark?
Over and over.
Sam, why is it so dark?
Every night.
Sam, why is it so dark?
As soon as I'm alone, as soon as I shut my eyes to
Sam, why
sleep,
is it so dark?
I can't stand it no more.
Sam, why is it so dark?
Gotta find him, I tell myself.
Sam, why is it so dark?
Send people out to look.
Sam, why is it so dark?
Where he was, where he used to live, but no. Gone. Nobody knows where. So every night the same. I close my eyes.
Sam, why is it so dark?
I can't. I try. No, Davy. Oh, no, Davy. No. And so today, I did what I did. The sun was bright. I was walking along the street, and all at once I saw the answer. There in front of me. I went up the steps, inside. Cool inside and dark.
May I help you, my son?
My son. He said that to me, Sam Miller, to me. Can I help you, my son? Yes. Help me. Help me. I took from a man the one thing he wanted. To look on the world and put what he saw down with paint on canvas. This I took from him. And so the only thing left for me to do is to give away the one thing I want most in all the world. Take it, Father. For anything you need it, God or people, use it, burn it. Just take it. So I gave away my fighter, my 100,000, my chance to be a manager of a champion. So they say I'm crazy. Everybody says it.
Sammy Miller, he's a dope.
Bury him in the ground. Such a fool. He's dead already.
A fool? Sure. I, Sam Miller, am a fool. But even a fool can do one thing in his life he knows is right.
You have just heard Mr. Eddie Cantor in Mr. Miller, a play by Arch Oboler. Included in the cast, with Mr. Cantor, was Howard Duff, with Leo Cleary, Lester J., Bill Johnstone, Irvin Lee, Elliot Lewis, Lou Merrill, Sidney Miller, and Julian Upton. The orchestra was conducted by Jack Meakin. Sound, Art Fulton and Bill James. Engineer, John Bailey. Next week, as the final broadcast of the special 26-week series, Mr. Paul Muni will appear in a new play by Arch Oboler, titled I Declare War. Because of the unusual nature of this final broadcast, we cordially invite you to listen. Next week, then, Mr. Paul Muni in I Declare War. This will be the 26th in a special series of plays written, produced, and directed for the Mutual Broadcasting System by Arch Oboler. To conclude the program this evening, Jack Meakin conducts the orchestra in excerpts from an original composition, Memoirs. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
And now, stay tuned for the mystery program that is unique among all mystery programs. Because even when you know who is guilty, you always receive a startling surprise at the final curtain. In the Signal Oil program, The Whistler. Signal, the famous Go Farther gasoline, invites you to sit back and enjoy another strange story by The Whistler.
I am the Whistler, and I know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. Yes, I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak.
And now for the Signal Oil Company, The Whistler's strange story, Homecoming.
A lone car speeds up a dark country road, barely ahead of the gathering storm. At the crest of the hill, the driver swings wildly in to stop before a rambling farmhouse. Quickly he's out, stumbling up the steps and across the creaking porch. Once inside, John Aaron scurries breathlessly to each door and window, slamming and locking them. But it's not the storm that holds terror for you, is it, John? No. You're sure that a far greater danger lies in the few brief hours ahead. It wasn't always like this, was it, John? The once proud farm and its family that fell gradually into decay. Still only you and your younger stepbrother, Robert, remained. Robert was the stronger, wild, and unruly. But not you, John. No, you've always been known as a stern, righteous man. But now only one thing is important, isn't it? You're certain that Robert is coming home. Now, as you sit back to wait, your mind goes back to the day when it all began. You'd watched as the sheriff and his deputies came.
John! John, are you home?
He's not the one we want, Sheriff.
Well, good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, John.
What's the meaning of this?
Well, I guess you wouldn't exactly call this a social visit.
Well, I gathered as much. What do you want?
There's no need for talk. Come on, we'll start with the house.
Okay, Johnny.
Nobody sets foot in my house without the right.
Now, wait. Now, hold on, boys. Hold on. Now, there's no need of that.
Then let him tell us where Robert is.
I don't account for my stepbrother. He's not here.
John, I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I've known you and Robert since you were knee-high to grasshoppers.
Just what are you trying to say, Sheriff?
Well, folks are getting mighty upset about Jed Peters. He hasn't been seen since he came here to your place 3 days ago.
He had plenty of money with him, too. Jed was going to buy this farm. He never did trust banks.
I wasn't planning to sell. It was Robert's idea.
Well, Jed's horse showed up at home without him. That's all we know.
Well, I know nothing of Jed Peters. Now, why did you come here, Sheriff?
Well, I just thought you might help, John. You don't mind if we sort of look around?
For Jed Peters? On my farm?
No. There's no offense to you. You see, it's a job to be done. Of course, we've got a warrant.
Oh, I see. You didn't need one. I'm not one to stand in the way of the law.
Oh, no, of course you are, John. After all, you're the last one we'd suspect of anything.
So you'd followed the sheriff and the others, hadn't you, John? Seemingly bewildered as they searched the house, the loft, the outbuildings. You'd kept your silence. Until finally, down the hill, buried in a shallow grave in a grove of willows, they had found the shattered body of Jed Peters. You appeared quite shocked, didn't you, John? Hardly knew what to say.
Don't surprise us none, Sheriff. We knew what we'd find.
All right, boys. Now leave John Aaron and me alone.
Suit yourself, but if you don't get it out of him, we will. You're right.
Sheriff, they don't think I had anything to do with it?
You know better than that, John.
Nobody's accusing you.
Well, I just can't understand it.
Now, I know how you feel. But if there's anything you can tell me now, about Robert.
Oh, hold on, Sheriff. Not Robert.
Where is he, John?
Well, I don't know. He just disappeared 3 days ago. Left without saying a word.
Same day Jed and his money disappeared?
Oh, Sheriff. Robert wouldn't steal or kill.
Well, plenty of folks saw Robert and Jed quarrel in the village. Robert made plenty of threats.
Robert never could hold his tongue. But you can't be sure.
No. But it looks like Robert's in trouble. A heap of trouble.
Yes, John, you carried it off very well, didn't you? For only you know the real truth, that you killed Jed Peters, killed him in desperation for his money, still hidden safely inside the house, where you haven't dared touch it since. It was so fortunate, Robert's going away when he did. It seemed an admission of his guilt. And after they found him in the city, you had plenty of time to lay your plans. You made a point to be at the sheriff's office when he brought Robert back.
All right, in here, Robert.
John.
Hello, Robert.
Is that all you've got to say? Supposing we set this thing straight.
What can I say now?
Just tell them their mistake. That's all you have to do.
Robert denies everything, John. Kind of suspected he would.
Well, why shouldn't I deny it? I don't know what anybody's talking about.
Then tell us, Robert, why you went away so quickly without letting anybody know.
John can tell you. He knew I was going. I went off to get a decent job.
Uh-huh. Right at the time Jed was killed, after you threatened him.
I threatened Jed? Sure I did. The old miser had John and me where he wanted us. He knew we needed the money.
Yes, but we didn't need it that bad, Robert.
Oh, stop it, John. You knew I was going. You were licked even if you wouldn't admit it. I was sick and tired of living with nothing but failure and decay. I couldn't face it anymore, that's all.
All right, you told me that before.
Because it's true. Why don't you tell him, John? Why don't you tell him the truth?
I can't defend murder, Robert. Even though we grew up together.
Why, you... Tell him the truth before I beat it out of you! Tell him now!
Get back there, Robert. Get back there. You won't get a chance to do that again. John. You all right, John?
Well, what happens to me doesn't matter. Don't hold this against Robert, Sheriff. He already has enough to answer for.
You were so forgiving, weren't you, John? Through the days that followed, you'd walk with head bowed, bearing alone the humiliation. And all through the trial, you felt the sympathetic eyes of everyone on you. Robert sat tight-lipped, not once taking his cold eyes off you as the evidence piled up against him. Then, when you were called to the stand...
Mr. Evan, I know this is difficult for you, but try and remember when you first realized that Robert was gone.
Well, I'd sworn to tell the truth. There's nothing else I can do now.
You mean there's something more?
Yes. Much more. I'm ready now to tell everything.
Please go on.
Well, I'd been away all that day. When I drove in the gate that evening, I heard a shot.
From where?
From back of the house. I ran around the house fast I could and saw Robert standing there with a shotgun in his hand. Jed Peters was on the ground. Dead.
Mr. Aaron, in spite of the fact that you know you'll be held to account for protecting a murderer, you still swear that this is true?
I do. I felt I had to protect him and the family name.
What did you do then?
I helped him bury Jed. And then I begged Robert to go away as far as he could.
Did he tell you about the money?
I don't know about any money. I'd tell if I did. I've lied enough. I feel I was partly to blame. If only I'd been kinder to Robert in our trouble. A little more understanding.
Robert Aaron, did you or did you not shoot and kill Jed Peters?
I did not. But you've heard what my righteous stepbrother said. You believe him. But there's nothing more for me to say.
I'm asking you now. You realize this is your last chance?
I've got nothing more to say.
So the trial was quickly over, and after that, the inevitable verdict. Robert was found guilty, sentenced to from 10 years to life. All as you planned it, John. And as the sheriff led Robert from the courtroom.
Come along, Robert.
Without telling my grieving stepbrother goodbye, Sheriff?
Well, all right if he wants it. Only for a minute, though.
Well, John?
Goodbye, Robert. Too bad it had to be this way.
Don't worry yourself too much. I'll come back someday, John. And when I do, you can count on one thing. There'll be another trial for murder.
When you see a lot of people all staring in the same direction, it's only human nature, isn't it, to want to stop and find out what's attracting them? Well, by the same token, I should think that most everyone with a car would want to find out what it is that has attracted so many motorists to Signal gasoline. In the beginning, you know, Signal gas was sold by only a small group of stations in Southern California. Today, however, you'll find Signal dealers in 7 Pacific Coast states, from Canada to Mexico. Such growth must mean that more and more motorists are finding they prefer Signal gasoline. And what is it they prefer about Signal? Well, for one thing, mileage that has made Signal famous as the Go Farther gasoline. And for another thing, performance, the pleasure-packed kind that goes hand in hand with good mileage. But for the complete story, you've got to let a few tankfuls of Signal speak for itself. I promise you, the performance of your own car will tell you much better than any words of mine why more and more drivers are switching to Signal, the famous Go Farther gasoline.
It's hard to realize that it all happened only 3 years ago, isn't it, John? Robert convicted of murder. Your own testimony had sealed the verdict. And only Robert himself suspicioned that it was actually you who had killed Jed Peters. And after 3 years, you're still unable to forget that last day in the courtroom. Robert's threat of vengeance, and your conversation later with the sheriff.
You'll be wanting me now, Sheriff.
Wanting you, John?
Well, I'm a criminal. As much as Robert. I shielded him, knowing his guilt.
Well, I kind of think it's Robert you'd better be concerned about.
Every man has a cross. Well, Robert's mine.
Yes, I know how you feel. It seems like just yesterday I used to visit your old place when we were kids. Had a lot of fun together as boys.
We'd best forget it.
But, John, what I'm trying to say is...
Yes, Sheriff?
I don't like the way Robert looked at you when you testified against him. There was hate in his eyes, John. Downright hate.
Oh, he'll have plenty of time to think things over. And realize that what I did was right and honorable.
Well, I hope so. But Robert was never one to forget a grudge. You're no match for him, John.
Well, I'll be going now.
Well, is there anything I can do?
No. I just want to be left alone from now on.
There had been charges brought against you, but quickly dropped. And through the past 3 years, you had withdrawn more and more, living with your guilt, not once visiting Robert at the penitentiary, only a few hours away. Time and again you told yourself that you were perfectly safe, hadn't you, John? Until word came only an hour ago that Robert had escaped in a prison break this morning. Yes, Robert is free to make good his threat. And now there's nothing to do but wait in your dark house, listen to the rising storm and the bump of the oak limb on the roof. You start at the jangle of the phone that echoes through the high rooms. You tell yourself not to answer. It could be Robert making sure you're home. You breathe with relief when it stops. Then you check each door and window. Then you sit in a chair facing the door, trying to stem the flood of memories and voices that return like a nightmare.
Why don't you tell him, John? Why don't you tell him the truth?
There was hate in his eyes, John. Downright hate.
you're no match for him. I'll come back, John. And when I do, you can count on one thing. There'll be another trial for murder.
Yes, John. You're sure these past 3 years have only added to his heat. Robert's determination to come back, regardless of the consequences. To kill or be killed. And now that he's escaped in a prison break, you decide to wait for him. Kill him as you killed Jed Peters, all in self-defense. End your fear and worry once and for all. But as time goes on, you begin to wonder, don't you, John? You wonder if Robert might not be nearby. You go to the window. Throw it open. Close the shutters. Slam and lock the window. Then you go back to your chair. Resume the endless waiting. You wonder whether your fears were groundless. You feel a surge of hope that Robert may have decided to postpone his vengeance. Go far away to start a new life somewhere else. Again the phone. This time, it doesn't stop.
Hello?
Hello.
Who is it?
That's you, John? Can't hear you very well. Speak up.
Oh, who's calling?
It's Charlie Briscoe up the road. Not surprised you don't recognize me. Been a long time since we've seen you.
Oh, yes, Charlie, of course. How are you?
Oh, tolerable. Quite a storm we're having, isn't it?
Well, they come and go. What do you want?
Oh, nothing special. Just a neighborly call. Sort of wondered how you were making out.
I'm making out, Charlie.
I was just saying to Sarah last week, we ought to have you over. Not good for a man to be alone all the time like you are. I guess you are alone.
Well, of course I'm alone. Any reason for you to think different?
Well, no, not exactly. Of course, I guess you heard about the prison break, Robert's escape.
Oh, everybody's heard. There's nothing I can do about it.
Oh, nobody's blaming you. Guess the last place an escaped convict would go to is in his own house.
Well, Robert's just a stepbrother. I'm not one to harbor a criminal.
Of course you're not, John. Besides, it might be just a rumor. Robert's been heading this way, though.
Who saw him?
I don't know. You know how talk gets around. It could be a mistake.
Is that why you called, Charlie?
No, John. I never was one to pry, you know. Of course, there's the money that was never found. He'd likely head for that wherever it is. Not back to your place.
Goodbye, Charlie.
Well, John, the rumor that Robert has been seen doesn't surprise you, does it? You're certain he's on his way to see you, to try and kill you. But you'll be more than ready for him, won't you, John? You outwitted him 3 years ago. You're sure you can do it again. Rifle in hand, you sit facing the big front door. Waiting. Waiting. The grandfather clock in the hallway strikes off another hour. And still you wait. And then... A voice, John. Or was it? You wonder if it was just the wind. You strain to hear. There's nothing more. And then you start as you hear the shutters rattling in the wind. You remember there's a back door, too, and you decide to cover that entrance. Set a trap for Robert. You walk to the kitchen. Take your other rifle from its place on the wall. Anchor it securely to a chair so that it points directly toward the back door. You tie a string to the doorknob, the other end to the rifle trigger. Loop the string over the back of the chair so that when Robert opens the back door, the rifle will be discharged. You leave the kitchen and return to the front of the house, where once again you sit, rifle in hand, watching that front door. But as the minutes drag by, a feeling of fear begins to overcome you. You wish you hadn't hung up on Charlie Briscoe when you did, that you'd suggest that he drive over, help out in case Robert arrives and attempts to carry out his threat to kill you. You decide to phone him again.
Number, please.
Operator, I want you to get me Charlie Briscoe, 136, quick as you can.
136. I'll ring him.
Oh, operator, hurry, will you?
I'm ringing.
Well, keep it up. I've got to get to him.
Must not be home. There's no answer.
Oh, I'm sure he's home. I just talked to him. Ring him again. Keep on.
Miss Briscoe doesn't hear so well, you know. This is Miss Aaron, isn't it?
Yes, John Aaron. Maybe you're ringing the wrong number.
No. This is right. Is there something wrong, Miss Aaron?
Get him up. Just get him.
I'm doing the best I can.
Hello. Hello!
The phone's dead. You're certain this is Robert's way to cut the lines and make his return safe and sure. You try to call out, but your voice strangles in your throat. The sound of the branches of the oak tree just outside the house brings another memory, doesn't it, John? How as boys, you and Robert had often scaled a tree, climbed across the roof to an unsealed hatch leading into the attic. You rush up the winding stairs. Open the door to the now empty attic. You're just in time, aren't you? You hear the sound of someone moving on the roof. The steps come closer. The hatch is drawn back. A head appears. Then the shoulder. You aim quickly.
Too bad, Robert. You should have known if I killed once, I can kill again.
You rush back downstairs, open the front door, and hurry to the figure huddled on the ground. Determined to end the threat of Robert for all time.
I'm sorry, Robert. Sorry it has to be this way.
No, John. I'm not Robert.
What you... Sheriff! It's you!
Yes. I didn't see any light.
But
I thought something was wrong. I remembered about the roof when we were
Well,
kids.
I didn't know, Sheriff. I swear I didn't. I thought you were Robert come back to kill me, and now I...
No. All right, your aim wasn't too good.
Oh.
Just in the shoulder. Oh, my God.
Well, here, I'll help you here.
All right.
I'll get you to your car. I'll find help. Easy now. The phone's gone out here, but I'll get you over to Charlie Briscoe's place.
All right.
We'll phone Doc Wilson from there. He'll take care of you.
Yes, thanks.
I shouldn't have fired so quick, but Robert isn't one to wait. It was him or me,
I
Sheriff.
know, John. I know. Don't worry about it. I've got a hunch they'll get Robert before he gets here.
What's the price? That's usually one of the first questions a motorist asks when shopping for an automobile battery. But really, the only accurate way to compare battery costs is to ask, what does it cost per month? In other words, the price of the battery divided by the number of months for which the battery is guaranteed. Compared in that way, one of today's lowest cost batteries is the new Signal Deluxe battery, which is guaranteed a full 30 months on a service basis. And the cost comes down even lower when you consider the generous trade-in allowance Signal dealers are now giving for old batteries, and the liberal credit terms which are available. Most important, however, is the fact that these 30-month guaranteed Signal Deluxe batteries naturally have to be built better in order to last so long. In fact, new Signal Deluxe batteries are built to deliver up to 35% more power for quicker starting and more dependable performance, all during their long, long life. So you see, when you're enjoying lowest cost, you're also enjoying a full 2.5 years of today's finest, most trouble-free battery service with a Signal Deluxe battery, the battery you get at Signal service stations.
It's going all right, isn't it, John? You put the sheriff in your car, rush him to Charlie Briscoe's farm, where Briscoe tells you he's just heard on the radio that Robert, hiding in a wooded section of hills near your farm, is completely surrounded. His capture a matter of minutes. You breathe a sigh of relief. Wait only long enough to make sure the doctor is on his way to take care of the sheriff, and then quickly excuse yourself. You decide the best thing for you to do is take what's left of the money you took when you killed Jed Peters 3 years ago. Leave town. Go to some distant place where Robert can never find you. You drive home quickly, but this time you play it safe, just in case Robert wasn't captured. You park down the road, run through the darkness toward the house.
John?
Who is it? Robert! No.
Yes.
But the radio is...
I gave him the slip, John. I had to see you.
I stumbled. I twisted my ankle. Don't kill me, Robert, while I'm helpless this way.
I'm not going to kill you at all,
Well, you
John.
swore you would.
I know, but I've changed my mind. I've had time to think. All I want is for you to tell them the truth. That you committed the crime I've spent 3 years in prison
No.
for.
No one will ever know that I killed Jed and took the money. But you listen to me, Robert. The money's hidden under the stairs. You can have it all. Go someplace where they'll never find you.
No, John. But I'll get you into the house. We'll talk a little more.
Yeah, but I don't think I can walk.
I think I can still carry you. Here, come on. Here.
No, Robert. No. Not that door!
Don't worry, John. Don't worry. All I'm going to do is take...
All right, boy. Come on.
There we are, Robert. I'm not going anywhere. But I'm afraid my stepbrother is dead.
Hold the light on him. Who fired the gun?
Well, I guess I did, by accident. I opened the door, and it seems my stepbrother had the rifle set to kill me. But I was carrying him, and the shot got him instead.
That's what happened, all right. You can see the string tied to the rifle.
Don't touch it. We figured you'd come here, Robert. That's why we came here. Glad we did. We found out a lot.
You heard what John said?
Everything. His whole confession. Everybody had you wrong, Robert. I guess this time your brother's trap got the right man.
Let that whistle be your signal for the Signal Oil program, The Whistler, each Sunday night at this same time. Meantime, Signal Oil Company and the friendly independent dealers who help you go farther with Signal gasoline hope you'll remember. Regardless of what gasoline you use, you'll enjoy more miles of happy driving if you drive at sensible speeds, obey traffic regulations, and avoid taking chances. You may even save a life, possibly your own. Featured in tonight's story were Bill Foreman as the Whistler, Howard McNair, Truda Marston, Bill Boucher, Pat McGeehan, Herbert Litton, and Britt Woods. The Whistler was produced and directed by George W. Allen, with story by Gomer Cool, music by Wilbur Hatch, and was transmitted overseas by the Armed Forces Radio Service. The Whistler was entirely fictional, and all characters portrayed on The Whistler are also fictional. Any similarity of names or resemblance to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Remember to tune in at this same time next Sunday when the Signal Oil Company will bring you another strange story by The Whistler. Marvin Miller speaking for the Signal Oil Company. Stay tuned now for our Miss Brooks starring Eve Arden, which follows immediately over most of these stations. This is the CBS Radio Network.
This is Orson Welles, speaking from London.
The Black Museum. Here, in a grim stone structure on the Thames, which houses Scotland Yard, there's a warehouse of homicide, where everyday objects, a simple glass, a piece of rope, a woman's handkerchief, all are touched by murder. You take this iron bar. It's a familiar object. The handle of a jack. If you own a car, you have a jack handle. Maybe you've used it, but never I trust like this.
Gracie, quick, give me the jack handle.
Here, let me go. What do you want? No, don't hit me.
Today, you'll find that jack handle in the Black Museum.
From the annals of the Criminal Investigation Department of the London Police, we bring you the dramatic stories of the crimes recorded by the objects in Scotland Yard's Gallery of Death, the Black Museum.
Here we are, the Black Museum. A few yards from here, the Thames laps at the riverside of Scotland Yard. But you never know it in here. Not in this long, dim, stone-arched room. It's a kind of mecca, a goal to be reached by students of crime and criminology the whole world over. Yes, here in this room lies death and the mementos and souvenirs of death on these shelves, in these cabinets, under this well-dusted glass. The weapons, the key clues of every homicide in which Scotland Yard has taken part for almost 100 years. Now here, in this case, the small white box. It's from Edinburgh. This death was in this box. Death by poison. The death of a too importunate lover. Now, this tiny pistol, it's oiled, it's in working order. A Derringer, it's called. The killer wore it up his sleeve. And one morning at 8 o'clock, in the British tradition, the trap was sprung. The killer walked on thin air. The executioner received the customary £10. Now, here's something more familiar, a jack handle. It's intriguing. Once, according to the case book, yes, that's the story, a tale which begins innocently enough when London lived in the blackout, and many American men found their after-dark amusement in tiny, hole-in-the-wall cafes.
Think of me always, though we're far apart. Keep a tender memory within.
Well, look around. Small tables crowded together, not much light. Pretty stuffy, and the blackout curtains, the double blackout door don't help the ventilation much. The girl singing is pretty in a tawdry sort of way, provocative in the manner of a cheap pin-up, but the two young men in the American uniforms don't seem to mind.
How's about it, Tom? Not bad for a dive? Not too bad. Five will get your tenants out of bounds. Yeah, not yet, son. Just opened. The MPs haven't cased the joint yet. Oh, good deal. Well, nothing to worry about, kid. Well, who's worried? What can they do? 6 months in the stockade, maybe? That's okay with me.
Apparently, at least one of these gentlemen is over the hill. Now, their interest has shifted, and quite naturally, of course.
You think she has to sing for a living? It can't be much of a living. She's not too bad. Maybe she dates. You wouldn't know what to do about it if she does. Says who? That says me. What were you stateside, anyway? A parson's son or a school teacher? I worked in a bank. So what? I got along. I did all right. Hiding in the army? Hiding in the... Oh, maybe. Could be. I get it. Still water runs deep and all that stuff. Oh, look, Teddy. What you don't know won't hurt you, see? That apply to Gracie? Gracie? You mean the babe? Well, who else? Grace Harwell, the London thrush, who don't sing half as good as she looks. You know her? I met her a couple of times. You want to knock down? Well, why not? Now? Well, sure. Gracie, let's see your speed, son. You got a ringside seat.
Well, Teddy, the Yank who thought he'd take Soho single-handed.
Sit down, Gracie. What'll you have?
My regular. Who's your friend?
Oh, meet Private Tom Bennett, Gracie Harwell. Hi.
Hello, soldier.
Let me get your drink, Gracie. Faster that way. Hey, what about your ringside seat? I'll be back in time. That fast you can't work. Grace,
Yes?
How would you like to help me win a bet?
Well, this is a new approach.
Good. Now, look, all I need to win is a date with you, see, for tomorrow night. Well, how about it? After the show?
Do you want furlough?
Maybe. Maybe not. I'll be in town tomorrow night.
Got a car with petrol?
No, but I will have.
You said it like you meant it.
I will have a car. And gas. When and where?
Well, I'm not saying for sure, but be outside at 1 o'clock in the morning. You may win your bet.
So, they met. That was the beginning. Next morning, Tom was at the appointed place, complete with jeep and fuel.
Hi, Gracie.
Hello, soldier.
Come on, climb aboard.
Where'd you get it?
Let's say I borrowed it. Shall we go?
Why not?
A boy, a girl, a jeep. In the London blackout without benefit of cherry planes and bombs. A time to relax, to make an impression on the girl. The former bank clerk made his play to the girl who sang club dates on the seamy side of London.
It's too bad. No moon tonight.
The moon means bombers.
At this point, that's not too bad.
Well, that's silly.
Oh, look, bombers mean there's a war on. No war, I wouldn't be here.
Well, what's good about that, being here?
I could itemize. One, I met you. Let's leave it at that.
You start early.
That's the stage. Don't waste time.
You didn't waste time borrowing the Jeep.
What's one Jeep, more or less? I worked in the carpool. I know my way around.
You must. You went back to get the car.
What are you getting at, sister?
The car is out without a pass. So are you.
Smart girl.
I know my way around. Want to sell the Jeep? I know a fellow will give you a good price.
No, I need it.
What for?
Business.
What kind of... Look out! That bike!
Gee, thanks.
Oh.
That's no place for a bike this time of night. Nor the girl on it.
What kind of business?
I have a small problem. Being out without a pass, I don't get paid.
Oh.
Money's necessary even in wartime. I had my ways back in L.A. Los Angeles to you. But I need a car. You get it, Gracie? Now, if you'd like a small demonstration, we can...
You know, a man boasts to a girl and decides to make good the boast. This very modern variation on that theme consisted of stopping the Jeep at the side of the road, cutting the engine, waiting. Half amused, half interested, the girl sat quietly as the soldier climbed out of the car and stationed himself in the shadows. Along the road came the bicycle. The girl on it pedaling swiftly, her thoughts 1,000 miles away. She drew alongside the parked, half-hidden Jeep.
Okay, sister, I'll take that bike.
Hey, what's the idea? I'm going to get home.
I want that bike, you hear?
Oh, I won't give it.
Shut up. You want one across the mouth?
Oh, no. You leave me alone. You leave me alone. You leave me alone.
How was that, Gracie? And she left her bag. There ought to be enough left in it for a couple of beers.
So that's the way you do it in L.A.?
Yeah.
You're all right, Tommy. Only next time, let's crack it for more than the price of a couple of beers.
Next time was the next evening, but early, before the bars closed. Gracie, the pin-up, said,
I won't go to work tomorrow night, and I know a spot off by itself. With a Jeep, we can get away fast, like you did it in L.A.
And they drove up to the spot, a small pub on a side road, and Gracie said,
Let's get to it, Tommy. They've got customers. That means money in the till.
But Tommy hesitated, and he said,
Too many.
Scared?
Now, why take chances? There might even be a cop in there. Maybe later.
You promised. You said I'd be the lookout while you went in and collected.
Maybe later, not now.
Well, let's do something, Tom.
We'll find something. You want a thrill? We'll find something.
They drove away. A well-lighted, well-populated pub was not to Tom's liking. He preferred the dark roads, the byways, the lone victims. But Gracie wanted her thrill. Tom found it for her.
Hop in, miss.
Oh, it is really awfully nice of you.
But, Tom...
You wanted a thrill, baby. Well, you'll get it. Where are you headed, miss?
Well, out to Kingston, if it's on your way.
Yeah, it's on our way. You all set? Let's go.
Two girls and a boy racing along the unlighted road toward Kingston. Not much conversation. There never is with a hitchhiker in the car. Tom drove, Gracie waited. River flowed close to the highway, black glass, silent in the starlight.
What's wrong?
I think I have a flat.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
I said I think I have a flat.
Oh, yes, it does feel off a bit. The Jeep, I mean.
Felt like the left rear.
Can I help?
If you'd get out, miss. You can leave your suitcase. The tools are under your seat.
Oh, of course.
What can I do?
I'll need the jack. The handle is on the floor, Gracie.
Yeah, I've got it.
You, miss. I want your handbag.
What? Oh, no. No, you keep away
Give me that
from
bag.
Oh, help! Somebody! Help! Oh, no, get away from me. Get away. Pick up my dress.
Go on, Tommy. Grab her. Drop her up.
No, I won't.
Quick, quick, give me the jack handle.
Here.
Let me go. What do you want? No, don't hit me. No!
Fight back, will you?
Hit her again, Tommy. Hit her.
What for? She's done. We got her stuff.
I think she's breathing.
So what? Give me a hand.
What do we do with her?
Into the river. What do you suppose I picked this place for? Get her feet.
Stop them.
Now, into the drink she goes.
Oh, Tom.
Well, did you get a thrill out of that, baby? That's the way we do it in L.A. Knock them over and dump them someplace where they won't be found. Okay, let's get going, Gracie. We got places to go and things to do tonight.
Nice, clean fun. The end of that night's work was a jack handle. It lies today in the Black Museum.
In just a moment, we will continue with The Black Museum, starring Orson Welles. And now we continue with The Black Museum, starring Orson Welles.
It was to be some time before the jack handle came to rest in the Black Museum. A trail of blood and misadventure was yet to be blazed through wartime London. Tom and Grace were amateurs at crime like this, but they knew enough to cover their tracks. They ditched the Jeep, parking it in a rubbed street. They took cover during daylight, but night in the blackout with their cloak as they prowled for further victims.
I'm sick of walking.
Does my lady want her limousine?
I want to ride. Do you hear, Tommy boy?
I hear. Come on, we'll duck into this vestibule. Something will be along. Give me a kiss.
Oh, you never have enough.
Haven't kissed a babe in a doorway since L.A. Good.
What's that in your pocket?
This? You like it? Shell in the chamber, full clip.
Where'd you get it?
Army stores, Natch. Pretty?
Throw it away.
Are you kidding?
Do you know what they give you for carrying a pistol in this country?
Well, what's the difference? We killed that dame, didn't we? They take us, it's the chair anyway.
Well, over here, it's the rope. At 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm cold, Tommy. I'm cold.
You cold? Maybe you're the warmest thing in London. What's that, a car?
Must be.
Come on.
Throw the pistol away.
You want to ride, don't you? Hey, driver, give us a lift.
He's stopping for us.
Obliging fellow, isn't he? Where to, Yank? Your way, towards Shepherd's Bush. My girl's got kind of tired of walking.
This is awfully nice of you.
I'm a taxi, you know. Private car with hat license. I'll have to charge you for the ride. Well, we don't mind, do we, honey? We got plenty of money. Hop in. In the back.
Private car with hack license. Driver James Carter. Direction east. Through the blackout. The blue, shaded headlights barely glowing in the gloom. After a little distance,
Driver, we changed our minds. How much would it cost me to go a little way further? Out as far as Shepherd's Bush.
Driver Carter obliged. It was his job. Pick up passengers, deliver them through the blackout, whether they wanted to go for a price. A living of sorts. Driver Carter thought of it as a living.
It's plenty deserted out here.
The Jerry's did a thorough job out this way.
It's near the docks, isn't it?
I suppose so.
It's a good place.
Perfect. You think he's got any money?
All right, driver, stop here.
Yes, sir. Nothing here but the rubble.
You heard me. Stop. You know what this is?
Circus pistol.
You hold it, Gracie.
Got it.
Don't move, driver. She's got an itchy finger.
You can have my wallet.
Keep him covered, Gracie, while I open the front door. Give me back the gun.
Hurry, Tom.
All right, you, driver, get out. On this side.
You can have a car, too. Just leave me alone.
Gracie, did you ever see the hole a 45 makes in a man?
No, Tommy. Never.
Now, dog!
Big enough to put your fist through in the back where it came out. Let's toss him in the rubble. That'll do it. Now we can ride anywhere you want to go.
It doesn't take much to kill a man. You pull the trigger. The firing pin strikes the cartridge. The powder explodes. And a bit of lead tears into the man. That's all. Nothing left but a few chemicals, which once were living flesh. A few rags of clothing. Toss it into the rubble. Dust to dust. Dawn comes to the warring city. The sun touches the rubble. The sun moves warmly over the cold rubble, over the dead. The night watchers start home. The fire wardens, weary but relieved after a quiet night, take a shortcut toward their breakfasts. A few hours sleep.
Marty. Hey, what's that?
Body, seems like.
This area was cleared out months ago.
He's fresh, that one. Let's have a look, shall we?
They had their look. It wasn't pleasant.
Shot through the chest.
Stay here. I'll find a call box.
The fire warden placed his call. He rang straight through to Scotland Yard. A short while later, a man picked up the telephone on his desk. Inside the Greystone building on the Thames.
Inspector Mason here.
Sergeant Davis, sir.
Go ahead, Sergeant.
The body found in the East End, sir, shot to death. Large caliber from the size of the wound, probably a service pistol.
Identified as yet?
The identity papers are still on him, sir. James Carter, taxi driver, private car registration, tag number RD7445.
The car?
No sign of it, sir. Tire marks in the road. It's a thoroughly bombed area, sir. Very little traffic.
Another one. Very well. Send out the usual teletype. Description of the car. You know, check for relations, friends of the deceased. Well, that's all we can do for now.
Routine. The teletype to all police stations. The constables memorize the details while they go on patrol. London is a big, sprawling city. The blackout isn't any help. That's all for now. The wheels have begun to turn. Routine, inexorable, never-ending. And so, another telephone call.
Constable Gray, Inspector.
Yes?
Ladbroke Station. I believe I have the car that was posted this morning. RD7445. Black sedan. It's parked in Bush Mews.
Yeah?
That's a dead end, sir. It's facing out.
Oh, very good, Gray. Stand by. We'll be along shortly.
A sharp-eyed constable in the blackout, the parked car. Routine. Inexorable. Inevitable.
Cut your engine, Sergeant. This'll do it.
Yes, sir.
Usual routine. If there's an attempt to drive out, turn on your headlights. The driver will be blinded.
Very good, sir.
Gray. Constable Gray.
Yes, sir.
Inspector Mason, CID. Anything yet?
No, sir, not yet. There's a pinhole in the blackout curtain. Second-story window of the house behind the car. There was a light up there.
Nothing now.
It went out a moment ago, sir.
Take post behind the car, Gray. Accost anyone who approaches it. The area's covered. There'll be no escape.
Yes, sir.
The constable's footsteps fade and stop. Silence. Darkness. The trap is set. They wait. No movement, no sound. Not even the glow of a cigarette. Just darker shadows in the darkness. In the depths of the little mews, a door opens and closes. Footsteps briefly. 2 pairs of footsteps. The car door opens. And Constable Gray calls out,
Don't start the engine there. You're under arrest.
Sergeant, your lights.
Tommy, the coppers.
They got us boxed.
Gray!
You won't take me.
Hold him, Gray!
Got him, sir. You got nothing on me.
Never mind that. It's my duty to inform you that you're under arrest. You'll be charged with murder. And I warn you that anything you say will be taken down in writing and may be used in evidence.
You can't prove anything.
Run the rule on him, Constable.
Yes, sir. This, sir. Service pistol.
Good enough. Take them along.
All right, you two.
Don't touch me. I'll go along. He made me go with him. He threatened me with a pistol. He made me go along.
That was the cry. All through the trial which followed swiftly. That was the plea of the tawdry little pin-up from the seamy side of London.
He made me do it. He hit me, showed me his pistol. He made me do it.
What of the robberies, the cheap, shilling-sized robberies?
Yes, I took that girl's purse. I went through the driver's wallet before we left his body, but he made me do it. You've got to believe me. He made me do it.
There were other far less hysterical witnesses, men who spoke with a calm certainty of truth. There was the ballistics expert.
There is absolutely no doubt. The bullet which killed James Carter, the driver of that hired car, was found in the flooring of the car. We have compared it with test bullets fired from the pistol found on the accused. The rifling marks are identical. The death bullet was fired from that pistol.
Tom Bennett, accused of murder, wanted for desertion by the United States Army, former bank clerk. He played his role defiantly.
I tell you, she's framing me. This whole deal was her idea. You should have seen the bang she got when she watched what was going on. Now she's trying to pass the buck to me.
And with customary thoroughness, Scotland Yard turned up a surprise witness.
Yes, those are the two. She gave him the jack handle and he hit me with it. They threw me in the river. The lorry driver found me. I know them anywhere.
He made me go along. He made me. I'll prove it. I'll show you where we left the Jeep. The jack handle's still in it.
Gentlemen of the jury, have you reached a verdict?
We have, my lord.
Let the prisoners face the jury. What is your verdict?
We find both defendants guilty of murder and add a recommendation of mercy for the female prisoner.
Oh, yes, juries behave somewhat strangely at times. This one was impressed with a plea of compulsion, but not quite enough, it seems, to acquit Grace Harwell. Thus, it came about in due course that the judge pronounced the sentence.
Thomas Bennett, you have been found guilty of murder. The sentence of the court is that you be hanged by the neck until you are dead. And then may the Lord have mercy on your soul.
On Grace Harwell, the judge pronounced the same terrible sentence. But the jury's recommendation for mercy led the Home Secretary to commute this to penal servitude for life. A lifetime for Grace Harwell to remember.
He made me go along. He made me go along.
a jack handle. It lies today in the Black Museum. So much for the story of Grace and Tom. Tom's life ended on the scaffold. The life of Grace Harwell continues in the drab monotony of Holloway Prison. The service pistol, of course, and the jack handle remain in their places, their special places of honor, on a shelf in that curious room which is known in Scotland Yard as the Black Museum.
And now, until next time, till we meet again in the same place, and I tell you another story of the Black Museum, I remain as always, obediently yours.
The Mysterious Traveler.
This is the Mysterious Traveler, inviting you to join me on another journey into the realm of the strange and the terrifying. I hope you will enjoy the trip, that it will thrill you a little and chill you a little. So settle back and get a good grip on your nerves. If you can. Where are we going? Why, we're going to pay a visit to the home of Albert and Louise Jordan. As nice a couple as you'd hope to meet. In a story I call Death is the Visitor. My story begins in the Jordan home late on a hot summer night. Albert Jordan is asleep and is having a nightmare about his mother-in-law.
No. You can't pull the wool over my eyes, Albert Jordan. I'm on to your ways. Think that my only child was foolish enough to elope with you. But you made her do it, Albert. You made her.
No. She wouldn't.
As long as I'm alive, she'll be protected from you. Albert, are you listening?
Leave me alone. Please.
Darling, wake up.
What is it?
You were having a nightmare, dear. You don't want to wake Mother up. She needs a good night's sleep for a trip tomorrow.
Oh, yes, the trip. I wish it was tomorrow already. She was gone.
Are you sure you have everything, Mother?
Yes, Louise. Everything I need for my trip home is in this handbag. Oh, now don't forget to ship my trunk.
I've already notified the expressman, Mother. He'll be here to pick it up this morning.
Thank you, dear.
Well, it's almost 9 o'clock, Mother. You'll miss your train.
I've never missed a train in my life. You needn't be so anxious to get rid of me, Albert.
Not really, Mother. I didn't mean...
Oh, Louise, darling, I do hate leaving you alone like this.
But, Mother, I'm not alone. I have Albert.
Well, I don't mind saying it right to his face. I don't trust him, Louise, and I never will. I'm really wrong about people, you know that.
Now, see here, Mother. I've had about enough. Louise and I get along perfectly well when you're not here.
Louise, what a temper he has. Do you want me to stay, darling?
Really, Mother, I'm very happy with Albert.
Oh, very well, then I'll go, but you'd better be good to her, Albert.
Yes, Mother, I will.
Well, goodbye. And don't forget, Louise, Mother'll be back if you need her.
Yes, Mother. Bye.
Louise, if your mother pays us just one more visit, I'll leave this house for good.
Albert, what are you saying?
In the past year, she spent 8 months with us. She has her clothes here, a key to the house. Why, she's even listed in the phone book under our number. I tell you, I won't be responsible for what happens if she doesn't stay away.
I'll write to her, Albert, and try to explain. Really, I will.
Make her understand that we have our own lives to lead. You know, now that she's gone, I feel like a new man. I can breathe in my own house.
Oh, Albert, you won't forget to put the tags on Mother's trunk, will you? The expressman will be here for it soon.
No, dear. Shipping your mother's trunk to her will be one thing I certainly won't forget.
me see. This is Hortense Murdoch. 125 River Road, Ferndale, Pennsylvania.
That won't be necessary, Albert. My trunk can remain here.
Mother, but you went to catch your train.
I know I did, but I changed my mind about going. I won't leave my little girl alone. Why are you looking so startled, Albert? Are you hiding something from me?
No. No, of course not.
Where's Louise?
She went downtown an hour ago.
She should be home soon. I'm sure at least she'll be glad to see me. Oh, you haven't locked my trunk yet. That's good.
So you've come back. Again.
You've always wanted to get rid of me, Albert. Keep me away from my only child. But I refuse to give her up. Yes, I've come back, Albert, and I'm staying for good. Frankly, I don't trust you.
You don't trust me?
No. I don't even know your background. For all I know, you may have criminal tendencies.
There's a certain amount of the criminal in all of us. Most people can control their worst instincts. And some can't.
Exactly. And I'm here to see to it that no one harms Louise.
But, Mother, who's going to look out for you?
Albert, why are you looking so queerly at me? Are you sick?
Yes, Mother, I'm sick. Sick of the sight of you.
Albert, stop looking at me that way. Why, you seem like a different person.
I am, Mother. You've made me different. And now you must take the consequences.
Albert, stay away from me. Don't you dare come near me.
So you would keep coming back, Mother. Well, you came back just once too often.
No, Albert. Don't touch me. Albert,
you should have taken that train, Mother. But at least now, I know you won't be coming back ever again. I didn't want to kill you, but you made me. Oh, but now I've got to get rid of you or they'll catch me. The trunk. Yes, it's large enough. Even in death, you're a problem, Mother. But you won't be for long. There. Now I'll have to get rid of the trunk. Somehow. I'll think of a way.
Albert, are you home?
Louise, the trunk. I've got to close it.
Is that you, Albert?
Yes, dear. Yes.
Oh, I see you're locking the trunk.
Yes, I was just getting it ready for the expressman.
He should be here by now. Albert, is anything wrong?
Anything wrong? What do you mean, Louise?
I don't know. Your face is so flushed.
Oh, it's just a little warm in here, that's all.
Oh, we forgot to pack Mother's robe. Look. Oh, you'll have to open the trunk again, Albert.
No, I mean, the trunk's full already. You wouldn't be able to get anything else into it.
Why, nonsense. When Mother and I packed it, it was only half full. Oh, please open it.
But it's locked, and we haven't got the keys.
Oh, yes, that's right. Mother has them. Well, we'll just have to mail the robe to her. Oh, I'll answer the door. It must be the expressman. Make sure the tags are on it, dear.
The tags. Oh, it can't go to her home. Oh, if I only had time to think. Wait, yes, that's the only thing to do.
Come this way, please. You'll find the trunk in this room. Here it is. Are you finished, Albert?
Yes, it's all ready to go.
Okay. Well, I'll make a racket of it. Now, let me see. It's being shipped to...
Perhaps you'd better load it on the truck first.
It's easier this way, mister. You're shipping it to Mr. William Smith, 345 Wood Street, Las Vegas?
Well, that isn't the right address.
Then, what is it on this shipping tag, lady?
Oh, well, that must be one of my customers. I must have been thinking of someone else when I wrote it up.
Yeah, but what's the right address?
It's Mrs. Hortense Murdoch, 125 River Road, Ferrydale, Pennsylvania. That's right, isn't it, dear?
Yes.
Okay, I know your name and address. I'll put the right tags on later. That's mighty heavy.
Oh, please be careful with it.
Don't worry, lady. I'll get there safe and sound.
Albert, did you get the mail just now?
Yes, dear.
Is there a letter from Mother yet?
No, just a few bills.
Oh, I'm really worried. It's a week now and no word from her.
But you mustn't worry, Louise. I'm sure she's all right.
Wait, Albert, you're even worried yourself about her. You look so upset.
Oh, I'll answer.
I'll come with you. Maybe it's a special delivery from Mother.
Yes?
Hey, good morning. I got a trunk here for you folks.
What? It's Mother's trunk.
Yes.
You always wanted to get rid of me, Albert. But I've come back, Albert, and I'm staying for good.
Bring it in, won't you, please?
Okay, baby. There you are.
But I don't understand. Why should Mother send her trunk back to us?
Would you mind signing for it, Mr. Jordan?
What? Oh, yes. Here you are.
Thanks. Bye.
Albert, I can't understand why Mother shipped her trunk back to us, and without even writing a word about it. Can you figure it out?
What? Oh, no, I can't.
Well, I'm going to put an end to this guessing.
Louise, what are you going to do?
I'm calling Mother. Hello, operator. I want to put through a call to Ferrydale, Pennsylvania. The number is 223.
Why bother, Louise? I'm sure there's a letter on the way.
Oh, I've waited long enough for one. I'm sure there's something wrong. Oh, hello? Hello, Sarah. This is Louise calling. Is my mother there? What? Are you sure? Oh, and that's why you shipped the trunk back. No. Thank you, Sarah. Albert, Sarah says that Mother never arrived home. She sent a postcard saying not to expect her just yet.
Was Sarah the one who shipped the trunk back?
Yes. She thought that Mother had decided to stay with us longer and would need her clothes. But, Albert, where can she be?
Now, Louise, I'm sure she's all right.
All right, she's been missing a week. How could she be?
Well, perhaps she's staying with friends.
You know Mother hasn't any friends. We've got to do something. Albert, I'm going to call the police.
The police investigated, but they had no clues, so they didn't learn anything. And George got rid of the embarrassing trunk just as fast as he could. Telling Louise he was going to put it into storage, he took it to a trucking company to ship it as far away as it could go. It was the only thing he could think of to do.
All right, I got it straight, I guess, now. Mr. Richard Jones, 65 Ocean Avenue, Los Angeles. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. He's my brother.
Yeah, and your name is...
Martin Jones.
Huh?
1635 Sherwood Road, Riverdale, New York.
Jones, Sherwood Road, Riverdale. All right, Mr. Jones, now let's see. That'll be $18.
Well, here's 20. Keep the change.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Jones. Here's your receipt.
It'll go out right away.
There's a truck leaving tonight. Don't you worry. This trunk will get to Los Angeles all right.
That's fine. It'll be quite a load off my mind when it's gone.
A week passed, 2 weeks, 3, and poor Albert was breathing more easily again. Until one morning when something most unexpected happened.
Louise, darling.
Yes, Albert.
Oh, darling, I have a present for you. Some flowers. Just saw them and thought you'd like them.
Thank you, Albert. You're very thoughtful.
Louise, your mother's been missing more than a month now. You can't go on like this. You'll have a breakdown.
Oh, Albert, where can she be? Why can't the police find her?
Well, darling, if she hasn't been found in 5 weeks... Oh, excuse me, dear. I'll answer.
Maybe it's news of Mother, Albert.
Good evening. I got a trunk here. I think belongs to you.
A trunk?
Yeah, that's right.
You always wanted to get rid of me, Albert. But I've come back, Albert. I've come back.
Do you recognize it? It's yours, isn't it?
Oh, no.
Huh? Well, ain't you the fella that shipped this trunk about a month ago? Didn't you give me a $2 tip?
I'm afraid you have me confused with someone else. Don't you know where the trunk goes?
Well, no. You see, it's come all the way back from California. It seems there wasn't no such address where this was shipped to.
Surely it had a return address.
Yeah, but the trunk got wet. The return address kind of washed off, so it came back to the office where it was shipped from.
Oh. But what makes you think it belongs here?
Well, you see, I kind of did a little detective work. The initials stamped on the trunk are HGM. Well, I looked it up in the phone book, and the only person in town with those initials lives here.
I'm sorry, but it certainly isn't my trunk.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to trouble you. I'd have sworn you was the guy that gave me that $2 tip.
Where will you take the trunk now?
Oh, it'll be put to the unclaimed baggage, and then in a few months it'll be auctioned off.
Auctioned dropped off?
Yeah. You'd be surprised what you sometimes find in them. Just like a grab bag game. Well, sorry to trouble you.
Oh, wait a minute.
Huh?
What did you say those initials were?
HGM.
HGM. What? They're my mother-in-law's initials. Her name is Hortense G. Murdoch.
Oh, sure. That was the only name in the book with those initials. That's why I came here.
Well, that was a very clever piece of detective work. Yes, of course it's her trunk. I don't know why I didn't recognize it.
Well, you know, trunks, they kind of look alike.
Yes, that's right. Well, bring it in.
Trunks are funny things, aren't they? You have something valuable in one, and just as likely as not, it'll get lost. But put something you don't want in it, like a mother-in-law, and it'll come back every time. You can hardly blame Albert for being upset, especially since Louise wanted to open the trunk to look for possible clues. But Albert managed to get Louise out of the house, then put the trunk onto the trunk rack of his car and started out. Several hours later, he was at the receiving platform of an all-night storage warehouse in New York.
Yes, mister? Can I help you?
Pardon me, but you store trunks here, don't you?
Yeah, sure. We store anything in here. You want to store that trunk you got there?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, I'll make out a ticket. Now, what's your name?
Williams. John Williams.
The address?
313 Maple Street.
Yeah, but what city, mister? What city?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore. Okay. Charge is $3 a month. How long you want to pay for?
Quite a while. I'll be leaving the country and...
Well, what is it? Anything wrong, mister?
Oh, dear. I only seem to have $6 with me.
Well, that'll pay for 2 months. Then we'll send you a bill.
No, that won't be necessary. I'll send you a money order in a few days. I may be out of the country for several years.
Okay. Leave the trunk there. I'll take care of it. And here's your receipt. Just put the number of it in your letter when you send the money.
I will. I won't forget. Good night.
Good night. Hey, Mr. Williams. Mr. He's gone. There's a receipt on the platform where he dropped it. The nervous type. Oh, well, I suppose they can forward it to him from Baltimore.
When Albert found he'd lost his receipt for the trunk, he was badly upset at first. That meant he couldn't send any money for future storage charges. But after all, there was no identification inside it, and he'd rubbed Mother's initials off the outside this time. So how could anyone trace it back to him? Especially since they'd be looking for him in Baltimore. So in a few weeks, Albert was himself again. Except for a nightmare once in a while.
After all, what do I know about you, Albert? You may have criminal tendencies, and I'm going to protect my daughter from you. Yes, I've come back, and you're not going to get rid of me. Do you hear me, Albert? I've come back to stay.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I can't.
Albert. No. Albert, wake up.
What is it, Louise?
You were moaning in your sleep, dear. You must have been having a nightmare.
Oh, yes, I was. But it's not important. It's just that midnight snack I had. Go back to sleep, darling.
But as the months passed, so did the nightmares. And finally, Albert was his old cheerful self again.
Good evening, dear. How are you?
I'm all right, Albert.
Fine. Say, I bumped into George Horton and his wife on the way home, and they asked us to come to the charity bazaar tonight.
That was very nice of them, Albert.
Oh, why don't we go? There'll be an auction, a raffle, supper, dancing. It'll do you good.
I know, but somehow I don't feel like meeting people.
But you can't go on this way, Louise, cutting yourself off from the world.
I've been unfair to you, haven't I, Albert? Keeping you home night after night all these months.
Oh, why, darling, you know I've been perfectly happy. It's been so nice. Just the two of us.
You've been perfectly wonderful, Albert, and I'm afraid I've been acting very selfishly. All right, I'll go to that charity affair tonight.
Now, what have I bid for this beautiful antique lamp. Do I hear a dollar? Do I hear a dollar?
I'll bid $1.
Ah, there we have a lady with a real sense of beauty. Now, do I hear $2? Do I hear $2?
Well, good evening, George.
Well, hello, Albert. Hello, Louise.
Hello, George.
Gee, I'm sure glad you two came. Missed you both a lot these past months.
Well, I hope you'll be seeing more of us. And we've got quite a crowd here tonight.
Oh, yeah. We hope to raise quite a bit of money. Say, that auctioneer's a genius. Come on, let's get a little closer.
All right.
Now, that gentleman over there, the one with the superb eye for beauty, bids $5 for this lamp. Do I hear $5.50? Your last chance, ladies and gentlemen, going at $5 once, going twice, sold to the gentleman in the tweed suit, and very fortunate he is.
That lamp couldn't have cost more than $3 when it was new. Well, now we come to the raffle.
The raffle?
Yeah, the raffle for a mystery prize donated by yours truly, George Horton.
Oh.
Better let me sell you a few tickets, Albert. They're only 50 cents each.
No, thanks, George. We just came to be sociable.
Better take a chance. No telling what you might win.
Now, next, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the feature of the evening. A raffle for a mystery prize, which I have hidden here beneath this canvas cover. Now, I'm going to lift this cover and show you a locked trunk. Now, take a good look at it.
Trunk. Oh, no. It can't be. She's come back again.
Yes, Albert, I've come back. And I'm going to stay for good this time.
Oh, no.
Now, this is no ordinary trunk, ladies and gentlemen. It was donated by a gentleman who bought it for storage charges. Now, who knows what it contains? Perhaps the crown jewels of old Russia. Or better still, a case of skunk. Now, take a good look at it and try to guess.
Albert, you're so pale. Is there anything wrong?
No, of course not. George, where did you get this trunk?
Oh, that big storage place in New York. You know, on the east side. Somebody did keep up the storage charges on it, and all the notifications they mailed came back,
Yes, I see.
Now that you've seen all the prizes, and particularly seen this prize, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're going to want to buy not one, not two, but half a dozen chances each. What can be in it? Guessing is half the fun. Well, now we're all going to adjourn for supper, and immediately after supper, the big drawing will be held. So buy your chances now and win yourself a trunk full of surprise and pleasure.
Well, Albert, changed your mind about buying a chance or two?
Yes, George. Yes, I have. I'll take all you've got.
Albert, I don't understand you. You bought every chance that was left on that trunk.
Louise, I know what I'm doing.
What on earth do you want with an old trunk that looks a lot like Mother's trunk, doesn't it?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
But of course it does, Albert. It's the same make and color. It has the same dent there. But it couldn't be.
Of course not. The idea's absurd.
Darling, you're acting so strangely. You didn't eat any supper, and
For
now
heaven's sake, Louise, will you stop nagging me?
I'm sorry, Albert.
Hello. Feeling pretty sure you're going to win it with all those tickets, huh, Albert?
I hope so.
I knew the mystery of it would get you. Say, I've even got a ticket on it myself. So you'll have some competition.
Oh, I'll win it. I've got to.
Well, I did my best. I picked out the heaviest trunk the place had for sale. So I don't want the winner to blame me if he doesn't like what he finds.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for the feature of the evening, the drawing for the locked mystery trunk. Now, my assistant has put all the ticket stubs in the wire wheel, and so I spin it thus. Round and round it goes, and where it stops, nobody knows. Now, the stubs are thoroughly mixed, and I stop the wheel so that this lovely young lady may reach in and withdraw the number of the lucky winner. Now, will you open your eyes, please, and read the number that you have drawn?
Number 38.
Number 38. Number 38. Number 38 is the winner. Is the holder of number 38 here, please?
Yes, I have it. I've won. I've won.
Well, good for you, Albert.
Congratulations, sir. May I have your ticket, please, so that I may compare it with the stub that the young lady drew?
Yes, of course. Here it is.
Thank you. Now, I place the ticket and the stub together, and we...
What is it?
I'm very sorry. I'm afraid an error has occurred.
An error? What do you mean?
The young lady misread the winning number. It is number 33, not 38.
No, you're lying. I won. The trunk's mine.
Now, I'm sorry, but mistakes will happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I must make a correction. The winning number is 33. Is the holder of number 33 present?
Oh, yes. Well, that's my number. Well, hard luck, Albert, but I guess you don't win after all.
Now, may I have your ticket, please?
Yeah, sure, here.
Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the lucky winner, purely by chance, is the gentleman who donated the prize, Mr. George Horton. And congratulations to you, sir. And I hope you'll open the trunk now and let the rest of us know what we missed out on.
I certainly will.
No, he can't open it. You haven't got the key.
No, but I have a bunch here that I borrowed from a locksmith, and one of them's bound to work.
You mustn't open it. George, I'll buy that trunk from you.
But I don't want to sell. I want to know what's in the trunk. That's where the fun comes in.
I'll give you $100. You can't refuse.
100? Well, if you want it that bad, all right.
I'll give you my check tomorrow.
Yeah, but there's one condition.
Condition?
Yep. That you open the trunk here so we can all see what's in it.
Oh, no, I won't do it.
Well, then the deal's off. Sorry, Albert, but curiosity has the better of it.
Come on. George, please, listen to me.
Sorry, Albert, sorry. Just a minute, everybody. As soon as I find one of these keys at bed, I'll...
Do I come back, Albert? And I have. You should have known I would.
Oh, no.
Darling, you're not well. Let's go home.
No, it's no use. It's just no use.
What on earth do you mean?
You will never be rid of me, Albert. Never. I've come back to stay this time.
I think I've got it. Yeah, this key seems to be turning.
No, wait.
What is it?
You mustn't open it.
Oh, Albert, fun's fun, but after all...
I had something to tell you. She's beaten me. I can't keep it hidden any longer.
That's right, Albert. Tell them it's the only way you can ever be rid of me. Go on. Tell them.
Well, Albert?
I did it. I killed her.
Did what? Killed who?
Albert, what are you talking about?
I killed Louise's mother. Her body is in that trunk.
Oh, no.
Albert, that's a very poor joke.
Oh, it's no joke. I thought I could get rid of her, but I can't. She keeps coming back. And coming back. And coming back. And I can't stand it any longer. Go on, open the trunk now. You'll see I'm telling the truth. Go on, open it.
All right, we will. Please stand back, everybody. Come on, stand back, all of you.
Yes, back.
Auctioneer, help me, will you?
Yes, sure, Mr. Horton. I'll undo this catch now. There. All right, now lift her.
Albert, this trunk. Why, there's nothing in it but old books.
This is the mysterious traveler again. Poor Albert. He let himself be fooled by the wrong trunk. Maybe it was his guilty conscience. What happened to him? Why, he's getting the best of attention these days in a small but comfortable room with bars over the windows. The only trouble is the bars won't keep his mother-in-law out. She comes in every night to talk to him. So if you're ever tempted to... Oh, you're getting off here. I'm sorry. But I'm sure we'll meet again. I take this same train every week at this time.
You've just heard The Mysterious Traveler, a series of dramas of the strange and terrifying. Listen next week over most of these mutual stations to a tale titled
Murder is no accident.
Another tale of The Mysterious Traveler. The Mysterious Traveler is presented by the Mutual Network from our New York studios. Russ Dunbar speaking. Stay tuned to this station for another exciting crime drama, True Detective Mysteries, which immediately follows Station Identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Dr. Weird.
Good evening. Come in, won't you? Well, what's the matter? You seem nervous tonight. Perhaps the cemetery outside my house has upset you. But speaking of the cemetery, it reminds me of a story I want to tell you. About a murderer who was dead and buried, but who kept on killing people just the same. They call it Revenge from the Grave. My story, Revenge from the Grave, begins in the suburban section of a large city. It is just midnight, and a full moon casts dark shadows beneath the trees that line the street. John Rogers, a businessman on his way home, turns a corner, but stops abruptly as a man with a scarf about his face steps out of the shadow.
Just a moment, Rogers.
Who are you? What do you want?
I want to talk to you.
Get out of my way.
Not so fast.
A gun? What are you threatening me with a gun for? What have you got that scarf covering your face for?
Because my face? Well, my looks have changed in the month since I was executed and buried. But you recognize my voice, don't you, Rogers?
Yes. Ronaldo the Great. But you're dead. You died a month ago in the electric chair.
Exactly. You were foreman of the jury that found me guilty. Guilty of murder. So...
No!
John Rogers' strange death remained a complete mystery to the police for a month. And then, early one evening, a pale-faced young man called upon Henry Wilson, the district attorney who had successfully convicted Ronaldo the Great, to tell him a story that Wilson found quite impossible to believe.
Now, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. You say your name is Walter Jones and that you used to be assistant to Ronaldo the Great.
That's right, Mr. Wilson. I was his assistant for 3 years.
I see. And you're trying to tell me that last month Ronaldo climbed out of his grave and murdered John Rogers? Is that it?
Yes. You see, Mr. Wilson, the day of Ronaldo's execution, I visited him at the prison. He'd sent for me, you see, and I can still hear his voice as he greeted me.
Well, Walter, so you came.
Ronaldo, what can I do for you?
Tomorrow, after I'm gone, you must get the names and addresses of the judge, the prosecutor, and the 12 jurymen who sent me my death.
Names and addresses?
Yes. Write them down in my secret notebook and be sure to bury that notebook with me.
I don't understand.
Each month, on the night of the full moon, I shall return from my grave to execute one of the 14. I shall not sleep in peace until they are all dealt with.
And did you put the names and addresses in his coffin when he was buried?
Yes, and now I'm positive that Ronaldo is using them to get in touch with the 14 men he swore to kill. Please, Mr. Wilson. Tonight the moon is full. Unless you do something, Ronaldo will kill someone else. Perhaps even you.
Oh, my boy. Go home and get some sleep and forget all this. Nobody's going to be murdered tonight by Ronaldo's spook. I personally guarantee it.
Only partly reassured, young Walter Jones left. District Attorney Henry Wilson went on with his interrupted reading until he heard the clock strike midnight. Suddenly, a loud knocking at his door startled him.
All right, just a moment. Who are you?
You don't recognize me, Wilson.
Not with that scarf wrapped around your face, no.
The scarf is to keep from innocent passers-by a sight that should remain forever hidden within the darkness of a moldering coffin. But my voice, surely you recognize that.
Your voice? Ronaldo the Great. Oh, no, that's impossible.
Yes, Ronaldo. Come to call on you tonight, the night of the full moon, to kill you.
Like this? So, you refuse to believe in the powers of the great Ronaldo, did you? Just as the others on my list still do.
But they shall learn that not even the grave can stand between them and the fate that is theirs.
Say, Dr. Weird, what kind of a doctor are you?
Well, I'm an MD of a different kind. Doctor of Madness.
And I am a DH, Doctor of Hats. My counsel to all men is this. If your hats never seem to fit properly, if you're always tugging at the brim and fussing with the crown, remember that trying to doctor up a sick-looking hat isn't going to remedy the case. The best prescription is to get a hat that's designed from the start to keep in good shape and fit neatly. An Adam hat. Made of finest quality material, Adam hats have the stamina to wear well and are styled to the best taste. Color shades are distinctive and appropriate. For hats that reflect perfect craftsmanship, see the latest line of smartly fashioned Adam hats. Prices only $3.45 to $10 at all of the thousands of Adam Hat stores and authorized dealers from coast to coast. Now, the good Dr. Weird.
And now I'll continue my story, Revenge from the Grave. After the mysterious murder of District Attorney Wilson, young Walter Jones went to Judge Dexter, who had sentenced Ronaldo the Great to death. He told Judge Dexter the whole story of Ronaldo's vow of vengeance and was greeted, as he feared, with skepticism.
Now, Jones, you want me to believe that Ronaldo the Great, dead and buried for 2 months, emerged from his coffin that night to strangle Wilson?
It's true. I know it's true.
If you really believe that, why did you go to the police immediately?
They just have laughed at me. Besides, I didn't want to believe it was true. But tonight the moon is full again.
Huh?
And tonight he'll kill someone else unless we stop him. I know he will.
Just what do you propose we do?
We must go to the cemetery tonight. Just the two of us. And open Ronaldo's coffin. Take away that list of names and addresses that I buried with him. Then he'll be helpless.
I see you believe all this, Jones. Well, just to set your mind at rest, I'll go to the cemetery with you and prove to you once and for all that Ronaldo the Great is dead and quite incapable of coming back to harm anyone.
An hour later, the two men stood outside the small marble mausoleum where the body of Ronaldo the Great lay in its coffin. Walter Jones opened the door with a key, and they stepped inside. He shut it again and turned on the flashlight he had brought.
Look, Judge. That's Ronaldo's coffin. Look at it, Judge. It's solid bronze, and it can be opened from the inside as well as from the outside.
From the inside?
Yes. That was Ronaldo's last instruction. The lid is fastened with a catch that can be worked from the inside.
I see. Well, we're going to open it now. And I'll prove to you that in spite of everything, what you believe is impossible. There. Now shine the flashlight inside. You see?
Ronaldo.
There's Ronaldo the Great. Dead if I ever saw a dead man. Now, are you convinced?
Look. There's the notebook with the names and addresses of the men he swore vengeance on. And in his hand, look, Judge.
Merciful heavens, a revolver.
The gun he shot John Rogers with. It must be.
Oh, no, it's impossible. Oh, the flashlight. What's happened to it?
Something knocked it out of my hand.
You fool, you dropped it. Pick it up and turn it on again. It's black as pitch in here.
No, Ronaldo. No.
Jones, what is it? Where are you? Jones, answer me.
He cannot answer you, Judge Dexter. I have silenced him for the time being.
Ronaldo.
At your service, my dear Judge.
No, I don't believe it. It's not possible. You're dead. I saw your body there in the coffin.
Quite true. I'm dead and I'm also alive. An interesting paradox, isn't it? Time now for you to suffer the fate to which you sentenced me.
No, let me go. Let me go.
You must die if I call the race. You're sworn that you shall die, and you shall.
If you won't let me go, I have to shoot. Now, where are my matches? Yes. There, now I can see. Jones! Speak to me.
What happened? I feel so funny. So weak. My chest hurts.
Jones, I shot you with the gun we found hidden in Ronaldo's coffin. I had to. You would have killed me if I hadn't.
I'd have killed you?
Yes.
I don't understand.
But I do now. Listen, my boy. That last interview you had with Ronaldo in his cell, he hypnotized you before you left him. He ordered you to carry out his mad scheme of vengeance for him.
I don't understand.
He hypnotized you and told you that each night of the full moon you would believe you were he, Ronaldo, that you'd talk like him and act like him. It was you who killed John Rogers and the district attorney, just as you tried to kill me a moment ago. You couldn't help it, my boy. You were just carrying out a condemned man's diabolical scheme. Jones! It's no use. He's gone. And Ronaldo the Great is really dead at last.
So that's the secret of how a dead man could continue to kill after his death. By hypnotizing his assistant into acting for him. Clever, wasn't it? Lucky Judge Dexter found that gun where poor Walter Jones had unknowingly hidden it in Ronaldo's coffin. Or Ronaldo might still be coming to life on nights of the full moon to continue his diabolical plan of revenge. Hey, you weren't on that jury that convicted Ronaldo, were you? If you were, I'd certainly... Oh, you have to go now. But perhaps you'll visit me again soon. Just look for the house on the other side of the cemetery, the house of Dr. Weir.